Welcome, jerks. I think we're live. Yeah, we're live. What's up, jerks? Wow, what a crazy, another bad day for the prosecution. You know, you put your witness up there, your expert medical examiner that none of us thought was going to actually be called. And what does she say? That she basically says the car didn't do it. I mean, she almost sounded like Arca. I'm not going to misquote her today, but that was not good for Hank Brennan today. And then Hank Brennan pulls the bull BS at the end where he's doing exactly what he accused Arca of doing. Change amended report from their upcoming witness last minute based on Ian Whiffins. Come on, this is so shady. There's so much shadiness in this trial. The judge, God, they make Massachusetts look so bad. I'm so tired of it. I'm so tired of living in the state and having that represent us. Just terrible. We got a great show tonight. We're going to go over some. We're going to talk about what happened in court today. There's also buffer news. Buffer. Oh man, we talked about the buffer zone last night. I think we're going to be talking about it again tonight. The buffer zone, man. I can't wait to go down there. I'm so mad I can't go down there tomorrow. I was hoping to. I was even thinking, can I do it between the walks? No, I just can't. I just can't do it. But it's going to happen. I'm going to end up going down there. I got some other news about court too and me. But we have a great guest in the green room. And I got to say that we're broadcasting on 2 channels right now. Well, more than that. You know, we're on the Young Jurks usual channels, the Facebooks and the LinkedIns and the YouTube, obviously, and the Twitch where one person watches us. And obviously our X account, we broadcast there. But tonight we're also simulcasting on our guest channel. She has a great channel as well. And we're on her YouTube as well. BiancaMMM, triple M, Bianca triple M. That's what I call her. Bianca. I love her channel. She does a lot of different stuff. She talks about relationships and things as well. But she does a lot of language, like, what do we call this? Body language reading. She goes through a lot of the Karen Reed trial. She goes through the different witness testimony and just picking up some of the stuff that we do when we all of us review video. We all look at this stuff, but she's really intuitive. She's really good at it. She's been on the show in the past. She's got her own channel. She's brought some videos today. We're definitely going to start off with the Jennifer McCabe, the body language of Jennifer McCabe. That's like the best one to start with. So we're going to be doing that. Let's bring her up on the show. Give her a big round of applause in the chat. Give her a lot of love tonight. So happy she's back on the show. Bianca, how you doing tonight?
Hey, thank you so much for having me back, Mike. I'm doing great. What a day for the defense today, right? We had a prosecution witness there, but she said so many things that are going to be beneficial for the defense when they argue this. Like you were saying, she sounded like Arca. There was no collusion. There was no collusion, meaning she just said that the lower extremity injuries that one would expect from a car collusion wasn't there. There were no broken bones. There were no bruises in the lower extremity of his body. She said that she knew everything. She knew about the I hit him. She knew about all the prosecution case, and she still couldn't rule it as a homicide. She said the face laceration he had could have been a punch in the face. I mean, that's another thing that the defense can argue. And that the eyelid laceration he had could not have been from falling backwards, like Trooper Paul told us last year. So just a great day for the defense with the coroner's testimony today. And like you said, of course, Brandon is trying to, I just feel like if you don't have a case, don't bring the case, sir, because he keeps wanting to just continue and let me watch the ARCA and then I'll bring my guy back and then I'll bring you back and then I'll come back and we're just going to continue to work on the case and try to find some evidence here. Like if you don't have evidence that the defendant is 100% guilty beyond a reasonable doubt, don't bring the case. But anyways, thank you for having me and for giving me such a great welcome.
You said They bring out the medical examiner we didn't expect, and cause of death is undetermined. Hypothermia. I mean, that's what they were trying to
Manner
push for
hypo
so long.
yes,
Yeah.
hypothermia and blunt force to the head, or blunt impact injury of the head. So could have been the glass, could have been anything, and that is reasonable doubt. Could have been
Yeah.
anything. She didn't really know what it was. She couldn't determine what it was, and it could have been many things. Could it be a punch in the face? Yes. Could have been this? Yes. Could have been that. So that is the definition of reasonable doubt.
When you're pitching your whole thing on that it was he was left out there and he died of hypothermia, and she can't determine that he died of hypothermia. That to me is enough. And then, like you said, all those other things that she. I
That
mean,
she had to
it
agree
sounded
with.
good. It
Yeah.
was like, wow, this is a great defense witness.
Yeah. Yes, absolutely. It was not a great day for Brennan, and you could see his desperation at the end when he's trying to argue with the judge, that he should have the ability to just keep introducing stuff. He seemed nervous. He's like, "No, we're not like Arca at all. I just have to keep, working on the case." And we don't know what the judge is gonna do. I mean, she has been a little bit different this time. I feel like she has been ruling for the defense a few times when it matters. So let's see what she's gonna do. If she's gonna give us a continuance, or if she's going to uh, uh, not allow the prosecution to bring that in, which I think is what she should do. If it's new stuff and they're just gonna keep working on it, she should just exclude it, and that's it. They had the whole year. This is a retrial. They should have a case by now. They should have a case. They should have a case.
Do you think the judge will rule in the defense's favor in this case, or do you think she's gonna let the prosecution get away with it? If you had to bet.
So if I had to bet, she's going to allow the prosecution to introduce it. She's probably going to give them, I don't know, a few days maybe to review it, maybe 2 days extra. But I would prefer if she would just exclude it,
You
because
should.
yeah, this changes what like the Alessi was saying today, the defense attorney was saying, this changes the testimony that we already went through. And if we knew this in the beginning, we would have asked different questions when they were talking about the timeline, and the time the phone for John O'Keefe was showing uh, stuff happening. Like if nothing was happening, he didn't have any movements. He was unable to move or to have cognitive function in his brain at that time. There should be no activity on the phone. And now we have a different timeline because clocks work differently. And now you want us to go back in time and ask questions again. It's not something that is remedied by giving them extra 2 days. It's not, I don't see as a remedy for that. I think that the judge should exclude it. And that's my final opinion.
And if she doesn't exclude it, she's got to let the defense bring up what Perry's saying here. A lot of the comments are saying that they changed their theory so many times now. They have to be taken to task for that. I mean, it just the never-ending changing stories. I mean, even with the testimony of the witnesses, where they were finding out and changing their stories based on info that was disclosed from the defense to the prosecution. There's so much changing narrative from the prosecution throughout this whole two trials.
So if they're saying the collusion occurred at 12:45, how did Karen's phone connect to the Wi-Fi at 12:36 if she was hitting him with a car at 12:45, which is also the time Jennifer McCabe had testified last year that she saw the SUV outside from the window. She said it was around 12:45 because she remembers looking at her texts. But this year she
her
came back
texts have problems.
Yeah, this year
her
she said,
text
"No,
timeline has a problem.
I don't recall. I don't recall. I wasn't looking. I wasn't looking at the time. I apologize. I don't recall." She came back with a whole different persona this time, and I don't think it worked for her. Even though she tried, good job in the acting classes or whatever you did, but it didn't work. It didn't work because Jennifer McCabe was actually the reason why I started my channel doing body language last year. Because once I watched her testimony, I was like, I gotta say things. I gotta point out things. Her face, her combativeness, her anger was palpable, and I wanted to show people what I was seeing. So I started because of her. And this year, she came back trying to be like just a mom with a new persona, trying to be calmer, trying to smile and say, I'm sorry, I apologize. But you can see right through her because she's passive aggressive, she's condescending. And I think that people can sense that. You can't really like pretend to have a different character. You can't. And she tried, but I don't think it worked.
Unless you're like a Hollywood known, like if you're Denzel Washington or like Meryl Streep, you could probably get away with that because you're trained. It's a skill acting. But like
Yes.
Jennifer McCabe, she's not a good actress. She's not.
Yes, yes, and our communication, right? Body language is nonverbal. Nonverbal communication is 70% of our communication. Our words only account for like 7%. So when people are talking to us, or when we are expressing ourselves, like in her case, she's testifying to Karen Reed trial. Even if she practiced, even if she studied, even if she tried to change her demeanor, her body will leak things that are happening. Like she will show contempt, she will show combativeness, even if she's trying to control it. She's not a professional actress, and she is in a stressful situation where she's being pressured and questioned. So she has personal feelings. You can see she has personal feelings because, for example, every time Alan Jackson would ask her about a specific thing, she would say, I don't recall, I don't remember, I'm sorry. But when she was talking about Karen, she was 100% absolutely sure. She said, I hit him, I hit him, I hit him. It was like rehearsed, and you can see the personal feeling she has against Karen Reed because she was like, no, this one I got it. I recall everything. So it's suspicious for somebody who's just watching her. So I believe the jury is probably watching and saying, okay, if you don't recall anything, you don't recall anything. But wait, you recall this 100% and nothing else, nothing else.
Exactly.
It's weird. It's weird, and I think
It,
people can sense
I felt like that with Yuri Buchanan too. Before we play this video with Jennifer McCabe that you provided us tonight so nicely that we can play some great video here. Um, what? Tell us about your channel because Bianca. Did I say it right? Bianca 3Ms, Bianca MM,
Bianca.
Bianca.
Mm.
And that's what it is, Bianca.
Yeah,
Like.
MMM. It's for mind meditation motivation. So that's what I have on my channel. I started doing scripted meditations that I write myself, and I have my voice, and I do the videos and everything. I have motivational videos as well for losing weight, exercising, and just having personal development. And then once I started doing the true crime body language, which is the mind portion of the channel, that's what people really want to watch. So that's the things that I spend the time doing the most. I am fascinated by human behavior, psychology, and when studying body language, I wanted to bring something different that I haven't seen yet on the channels. Usually, when I watch any type of body language videos, people are explaining and they're using the terms of body language and facial expressions, but I don't see because the videos go by so fast. So what I try to do in my videos is I take a lot of time to edit, and I do slow motions. I show you guys on the micro expressions what I'm seeing, so that we can all observe together, and hopefully the viewers can become more familiar with the terminology. So I wanted to bring that side of the body language that I didn't see yet. So hopefully the people can appreciate it, and have some fun, because I do use, if you have been in my channel before, I'm a little silly, and I use like sense of humor. It's very silly at times, childish really, but I enjoy it because it helps me to make lighter of a subject that is so tough to watch, because all these trials are dealing with real families, real victims, serious subjects that are hard to process. And it helps me to have a little bit of sense of humor, with all due respect. That's what I'm trying to do, and I hope people like it.
So yeah, I love to have a little bit of fun, even though it's tough. I say that. Usually I do it at the expense of the trolls. Like somebody I was on the phone with today who maybe is a little newer to this, doing like, social media and YouTube or, similar type. I think it was TikTok actually. But they were getting some trolls after them. And I was
Mm,
just laughing because I was just like, I love it. Like if a troll comes in here and posts up into my chat, we have fun with it. That's like when the fun starts. Like, uh, I don't know. It's just you got to have a little bit of fun at times,
you do.
especially
You do.
when this type of content, because it will definitely drive you nuts. Like a lot of the
Yes.
stuff that I see with the judge and the Hank Brennan, it drives me crazy. So I want to ask you about the body language thing. How did you start on this? Like I kind of get the meditation and mind and your YouTube, but did you pick this up just kind of reading books, or did you pick it up just you always kind of had that and you just focused on it, or is there someone that you follow, or did you go to school for it? Like how did you get into the whole body
Yeah.
language? Because I think it's very helpful. Like I used to do sales, a lot of sales, and even with YouTube and interviewing people and just doing activism and things that I've done in the past. I think body language is such a huge thing to try to pick up on, to know if someone's actually listening, if they're into it, if they're not into it. You know what I mean? So I think it's so big for us in everyday life. How did you get into this? I think it's fascinating actually, because I think there's so much that does get revealed subconsciously that we miss, but
Yeah.
sometimes we do pick it up. So tell us, how did you get into it?
Absolutely. I've always been very intuitive and I always love to learn. So, pretty much, I learned from books and from watching other people. I've taken a few classes, but I definitely don't have any certification or qualification to do so. But I always perceived, when I enter a room, when I have a conversation with somebody, I always have that gut feeling. I think we all have that gut feeling after an interaction or meeting somebody, that even if you don't know all the terms, that you can feel, okay, this is a genuine person, I like this person, or that conversation made me feel safe, that I can trust, or there's something off here, I don't know what it is, but this person is not giving me that feedback. With their, just without saying anything, I could perceive that very easily. And when I started, like I said, with Jennifer McCabe, watching her facial expressions, I started to look deeper into it and to get the terms for it. And I became more familiar and I'm just constantly learning. So that's how I got into that, because people were showing interest as well. Then I got deeper into it. But pretty much, yeah, just learning from books and watching other professionals. I do follow Joe Navarro. I follow the behavioral panel. There's another doctor that I watch online that I forget his name right now. So I do learn from the greats, the professionals, but I wanted to just add that different side, which is to pinpoint, like, what are they talking about? Because they will be talking about the video, they would watch Jennifer McCabe and then just say, well, Jennifer McCabe seemed this way and that way and that way, and she did this with her face, and then they would play the video again, and I'm like, where? I don't see it. So when I do slow motion, I wanted to show you guys, because I love technology and I like to edit videos as well. Where I don't know, I just fell into it and I like it, and I hope that other people like it as well.
Odds, Jeno, just put your YouTube channel in the chat, and we pinned it to the top. So I hope that people on the watching on the YouTube for the Young Jurks will definitely follow you tonight if they haven't already done so. Bianca, did I do that right? Did I do that right? Bianca,
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 that's what.
I love it. That's great. So definitely
Thank
follow
you.
Bianca on there on YouTube. Thank you, Jen O, for posting that up. It's pinned at the chat in the chat right now. This was funny and I think somewhat true. Of course, I'm more of Alessi, who's a big supporter here. I like more of Alessi, but I think they had a point. Mike, I love you, but that question was a wee bit too long. It was. I was getting a little excited about body language. I mean, it's true.
Compound,
It was.
compound question. Objection.
Sometimes I do that. Sometimes I like to do the quick questions, but sometimes, yeah, I'm one of those dudes that just Sorry about that. I'll try not to do that again tonight. Why don't we play the video? You want to play the video and check out some video tonight?
Yeah,
We
let's
got a
watch
few.
a little bit of Jennifer McCabe. So how do you? Okay, let me see. I think you have to put the video, and I can
Oh yeah, I
play
can put it up. Yeah,
There you go.
I can set
Thank
it
you,
up.
Brenda. Thank you so much for subscribing. Let's see if you guys like this one on Jennifer McCabe. Ready?
Of course, it's not clicking.
I got a
over.
phone call.
There it goes.
And that's my
You want to start over? We'll start
Okay,
from the
sure.
beginning.
Let's start over.
Let's
This
get
is
it. We'll get it.
Jennifer
Let
McCabe.
me get the comments off. Do you want to do it this way, or we can do it a couple different ways? We can do it this way, or we can do it this way. What
You
do you
can just
think?
take us off if you want.
Take what?
Take us off the screen.
You want
Or
to
like this.
You want to watch the whole thing? Yeah.
Like this is good too.
Yeah. All right,
Yeah.
we'll do this.
Because we can see the whole video because sometimes there's subtitles on the
You
bottom.
want to see the whole video? Okay. Maybe I
Okay.
could take the banner off too if there's anything up there that we're missing. Let me take that off too. Nope, that's not the one. Hold on a second. If I can take it off, I know I can. I'll figure it out.
I think it's fine because that's with the Court TV logo. Maybe, yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
you did it. You did it.
No, is it still on there? No, it's still on there. I don't know. I thought I could take it off, but
No, the Young Jurks is off.
oh, it is off. It did come
Yeah,
off. Okay,
it's
good.
off.
Well, now they get the
Yeah.
Court TV, but you can see through that one. All right. You want to hit play, or do you want me to hit
Yeah,
the play button?
I'll hit play.
You take care of it.
Ready, go.
And that's my story. I got a phone call.
and that's my story. That's my
And that's my story. It's
Those
the
were
truth.
yours.
It's the truth.
Okay. As you said, that's your story,
Not my
correct?
story.
and that's my story.
There's nothing nefarious. There's nothing evil here.
Robert's number.
There's nothing nefarious. I remembered who I called. I didn't go back and look at phone record.
When only one shoulder rises, chances are the individual is not limbically committed to what she's saying, and it's probably being evasive or
I didn't say it
even
was nefarious.
deceptive.
Why would you use the word nefarious?
Because there's nothing about me calling my sister that is nefarious, and I feel like you're insinuating it might be. There's nothing evil here.
Robert's number. Stories she tells are consistent with the stories you tell to different law enforcement agencies, correct?
No, we are not telling stories.
Let her finish. You said no what?
I said, no, we're not telling stories. We don't have to compare. There's no inquiring. It's like when when the ice cream truck was at the street next door and I'm saying, did the ice cream truck come? It's really that simple.
So you asked a question,
That was not an ice cream truck.
an argumentative question, and she responded in kind. Next question.
Thank you.
You can see the satisfaction in Jennifer's face when once again the judge admonishes Alan Jackson.
Moment. So, when I got a phone call. No, we are not telling stories.
And that's my story.
So let her finish. You said no what?
I said, no, we're not telling stories. We don't have to compare.
That was my next question.
yeah.
You also wanted to find out had these law enforcement officers from this different agency contacted her, correct?
Yes, because typically if
I
you
just
enter our
asked yes or no.
town, she's,
Ms. McCabe, yes or no?
oh, sorry, I was just trying to
That's okay.
explain. I'm sorry.
There's that apology again. Has someone told you that you need to apologize when you say, when there's an uncomfortable question that you don't want to answer?
No. I can't tell you where they were located. I'm sorry.
Okay. They told you that they would, at that point, yes or no?
Oh, sorry, I was just trying to
That's okay.
explain. I'm sorry.
Yes, hello. I'm sorry. I was just trying to explain. I'm sorry. Is that why you contacted?
Said that when I was naming everyone at the table. I apologize.
Did you see any other vehicles at that time?
I ran into the two of them.
I didn't ask you who you ran into, just what did you ask her to send you?
Oh, okay, I'm sorry. A text message. I'm
Okay.
sorry.
Let me ask a different question. There were many officers there, and many officers were asking you questions, correct?
Correct. Remember any specific questions about phone calls? I apologize. I'm not sure on specific conversations about that. I apologize.
Do you recall telling any officer about a cracked taillight that came up in one of those first 2 phone calls?
At the scene,
At the scene.
again, I think all the conversations were about what was happening in the present time. These conversations were at the scene when Miss Reed was running around screaming.
Ms. McCabe, do you understand my question? Did you understand the last question I asked you?
If I spoke to an officer, Mulaney,
Correct.
again, I could have. I am not sure. I don't remember every officer. It was a chaotic scene. I had just found my friend on the ground.
So the answer is, I don't remember.
I
Correct?
don't remember speaking to him. No, sorry. Story, there's what happened,
We
and that's
stop
it.
it for 1 second. I love this in terms of you're pointing out so many things that I just like not aware of, like the shoulder thing.
The shoulder shrug, one single shoulder shrug, yes. Well, the explanation they give is that our brain is usually like comfort, discomfort, things that make sense. So when we don't know something, both shoulders go up. I don't know.
Like, yeah, shrug, a real shrug, right?
A
Yeah.
real shrug is like both shoulders go up. So for one shoulder, it's like something that is different to the brain, which means that it's not congruent with the information being provided. So your lips are saying something and your body's like moving,
Hiding it.
incongruently. So that's why they say that this is one of the only signs of deception. It's very hard to pinpoint real deception because everybody has different characteristics, but they do say that a single shoulder shrug usually means deception.
Wow. And there's so many other ones that you're pointing out, like the victimhood one. I mean, that's a look that she does, right? That just
Yeah, you
totally.
can see her eyes are like almost like crying, but it is a persona. It is a persona she's bringing this year, which she did not bring last time. You can see her eyes, like her pupils like dilate and just become bigger, and she's looking at the jury like, oh, I'm just so sorry, I don't know, my friend was lying there. And you can see it's not genuine because when she was talking to the 911, it was the guy. There's a guy in the snow. She was cold throughout the whole thing, but now she's trying to be more what is the word? She's trying to gain sympathy from the
Yes,
jury.
right.
Yeah. But then you see the other side when she becomes again passive aggressive or combative with the attorney, because we can see her, or when she talks about Karen, she changes completely when she talks about Karen. She was running around insane, crazy. Like she seems like a mean girl. She likes to put everybody else down and elevate herself and then make herself seem like a victim. But I think that a lot of these things, even when we don't see it, hi Karina, I love Karina. I'm so happy Karina's here. Even when we don't see it and we don't know the terms, I think we have that gut feeling at the end of her testimony must be like, I don't know about this lady, as simple as that. But all of those nonverbals that she's showing, look, right now we're paused at the contempt when one side of the lips go up. And she's saying there's no story. That's where that phrase, the face came from. When she said there's no story, there is what happened and that's it. So when she said that's my story, look at that, my story. Why are you saying my story? There's the facts, there's the story, and there is my story, my truth. My truth is a tell that people use as well. It's my truth, meaning there is another truth, but this is mine, the one that I believe, and I'm gonna die telling everybody this is my story. And then she caught herself, and she's like, no. I mean, that's the truth, but too late. We got it. We clipped it, and we did it in slow motion, Jennifer. So now everybody knows.
It's amazing. That's amazing catch too. This is the stuff that you're focusing on too. It's not just even the body language, but it's the words too. It's the slip ups. It's because we all do that. We subconsciously say things we don't mean a lot. That's what I always get worried on my live show when I'm going to slip up and say something that I didn't even It's so weird sometimes. It's subconscious, you know?
It's subconscious,
You're
but
thinking
that
about, yeah.
go ahead, I'm sorry.
You're thinking
I'm
about one
sorry.
thing, and then you say, like, let's say, like, just talk to a guy named Kevin, and now I'm talking to a guy named Steve on the show. I might call Steve Kevin because I just talked to Kevin. Like, that's just simple. We do that. We subconsciously, things just come out because we're thinking about our conversation we just had with Kevin, let's say. You know what I mean? While I'm talking to Steve, that could happen. Like, it's just so things come out. And I liked what this too. Like, we're gonna play the rest of the video. There's a lot more to this. We have a lot more video too, which I like. But you're also focusing on one of the things I always noticed is the eyes. When someone
Mm.
like moves their eyes to the side, I always find like they're trying to remember. They're trying to remember a story. They're not like in the
Mhm.
moment. Is that true? Is because I saw you pointing out the eyes moving side to side a lot with Jen, and I see that a lot when she talks. What does that mean when the eyes move side to side generally?
So when she's moving her eye so far in this video, it's pretty much after something stressful happened, and then she answered, and then she's kind of like double checking with either Brandon, the attorney, or she's looking at the jury to see their reaction. So to her, in her scenario here, it's just like her checking. She's either checking to see the jury's reaction, or she's checking with somebody that is on her right side. What you're referring to is that what people talk about accessing memory or accessing creative side, which I did catch from Trooper Buchanan. I think we do have that in his video. He looks down to the right when he's like thinking about an answer, and that usually signifies, based on the studies that have been conducted so far, that you are accessing the creative side of your brain. So sometimes you can be trying to fabricate an answer, so that's when you're looking down to the right. And there's other, for example, looking up to the left, I believe that's where, when you're accessing a memory, you're actually accessing a part of your brain that something did happen. So with all of these things, and you're saying, sometimes I worry about leaking something in my face, or even saying something, but it all comes down to being genuine or not as well. Because if you are genuine, whatever you do, it's still going to convey that message, because everything's going to be congruent. But the thing with people who are either creating or exaggerating or just trying to add stuff to the story is that the body is going to start to leak weird faces, just like we see here, like with this, side lip going up with her, and her eyes constantly looking for approval. Did they believe what I just said? Or looking like, okay, what, like when I put loading in her in her head, right? Like trying to find, what am I going to say next? So it all comes down to being comfortable and being uncomfortable, and being genuine or not. And when we are comfortable, it's easier. It's just the information just flows easier. And when we see a lot happening and everybody acts differently and everybody has different characteristics, that's when I investigate. Sometimes I record the whole video and I just go by the frames. I'm not even listening, and I just see something happening to the face, and I'm like, okay, let me see what was the question here. And that's when I catch a certain behavior from some of these witnesses that we're watching here.
It's a key for me doing these shows too. Like, I couldn't do these shows if I was trying to act at all. Like, so I'm always just be yourself.
Be
Don't try to
yourself.
cover up anything. If you screw up, you screw up. Like, I just whatever, because
Yeah.
it's just
Well,
easier that way.
yeah.
That's life too. Like, not just for shows, obviously, but for life. It's so much. I don't know when I figured that out. I think maybe in my 30s. I think it took too long, unfortunately. I was kind of a meathead for way too long. But I just think that's just a much better way to be in life, you know?
Yeah,
Um,
absolutely.
yeah,
And
who
this is
wants to
not
go around
easy. Me and
lying?
YouTube camera, this is not easy. But I heard from somebody in the beginning, like, just do it. Just start recording the first video. It's probably not gonna be great, because I'm a perfectionist and I would spend hours like, no, let
Oh,
me
that's the
record it
hard
again. Let
thing.
me record it again. And it's like, no, just be yourself. Everybody makes mistakes. And if people appreciate what you're doing, they're gonna see beyond that. And you can't just be like trying to be perfect. Nobody's perfect. So just be yourself, and just post, just record, and then you're gonna learn more. And that's what I decided to do. I'm like, all right, I'm just gonna try it and see what happens. And it becomes easier. Look, I'm doing all adapters because I'm stressed, I'm like, I'm nervous. Oh my God, am I doing well? Am I not? So I'm like,
Doing good tonight.
this
Yeah,
tie,
don't be
I'm
nervous
like,
here. It's so funny too, because tonight, like usually, a lot of times people come on my show and they're like, "I'm underdressed because I'm wearing the jacket. I usually wear the jacket, but tonight you've got the jacket and a tie, and now I
And a
feel
tie.
underdressed. Now I'm feeling underdressed.
No, this
I
is a
love
big
it.
deal. I'm like, no, I gotta dress up. Of course, a big deal. I love your show.
Oh, yeah, I love you what you do too. This is great. We're having fun. There's also like this whole thing where she was like jutting. You're talking about like her and the dimpling. What's the dimpling about? What are some of these other facial tics that she's going to show before we play the rest of this?
So the chin dimple that I mentioned is just like stress in the face, and the tongue jut, which she
Yeah,
does
the
a
tongue.
lot. The tongue jut is usually right very quickly after a sentence, after we say something, we answer something. And the meaning is either I got caught or I got away with something. So she might be answering something that she's uncomfortable with answering, and just like, yes, that's what Carrie and I did. We created a timeline. Tongue jut, like, I got away with this. I'm creating this story, or whatever the truth may be, and I got away with that answer. Because at the end of the day, if you tell yourself a lie enough times, you will believe it. And this is the attitude that I see with some of these witnesses. It's like they're gonna go to the grave with whatever story they're portraying here, no matter how ridiculous and how it doesn't even make sense, some of the answers they give, especially with Trooper Buchanan saying, oh yeah, having a log is redundant. Really, like the answers that he gives that don't even make sense to the simplest of the minds, but they will go to the grave answering that, and their face will say, the tongue just gonna happen, because it's like, I got away with that. It's even your body saying like, I got away with this statement. I can't believe it. But if you just keep a straight face, say whatever in court, you're probably not going to get in trouble. You're probably not going to get in trouble. At least in this trial, you're probably not going to get in trouble.
Bianca. Mm.
Bianca,
I say it right?
No, it's BiancaMMM, but you just came up with this, and I kind of like it.
Bianca.
Bianca.
You did it earlier. This is.
You came up with that. I like it.
I did.
Like
All right. Cool. They call me the Young Jelly. I didn't come up with that one. That was one of my trolls, Kevin.
Wow, Kevin. Oh, you even know your troll.
Yeah. Well, he's got a show. He's like the king troll. Yellow Cottage, Kevin. I don't know. Are you familiar? You don't watch that crap, do you? You don't know that.
What is it, Kevin and who?
Yellow Cottage Tales. Yellow Cottage Tales. No.
No.
Yeah. Yeah. See, he's
No,
not
it's
on
nothing
anyone's
against
radar.
this, because really I don't have time. Like, I have to work, and then when I make these videos, it takes hours. So I wish I could listen to everybody, but it's really, and you have to, and I have to listen to the trial, and catch stuff. It's a lot. It's a lot.
Be glad you don't listen to him. He's one. He's special. He is very special.
Wow.
He calls me the Young Jelly. Young Jelly. And Young Jelly doesn't have a spine.
Wow.
Meanwhile, he hides in his house.
And he talks about this trial too?
Yeah. He's on court TV.
Oh,
I don't know how. We don't know how. We
wow.
We don't know how he got him. He wrote a book. He wrote a book.
But he's like, I don't like to listen to most people on court TV, like their official reporters or whatever. It's just so fake, It's just
this is what we need. This is such a good point. Ask Bob. Now I gotta say, Bianca, I gotta warn you. If you do this, you're gonna trigger a lot of trolls. They're all gonna come after you.
I don't know about that.
this guy will give you. He's like Will from the Galera. I don't know if you know the Galera. He used to do all these shows reviewing Kevin from Yellow Cottage Tales. And at one point he said, like, this guy is a fountain of content. And that's what I ran on too. I was like, every once in a while, if I'm bored or if I have I just want to go off, I'll just pull up Kevin and I'll go off on one of his videos because he's nuts. And he thinks he's the smartest guy in the room. So if you wanted to generate some heat or some traffic,
I
I think
don't
that you
want to
should do a
generate
review
heat.
on this clown. I would watch
I'm
that.
definitely
And
curious.
it would
I'm
drive
definitely
him
curious.
crazy because he's a creeper. He's like, there's definitely something creepy about him. He's like, he talks about like the women's perfume. Jen McCabe is just a soccer mom. Like he's so into like, he's just a weird dude. You'll see. You'll see.
Wow, wow, wow. Does he have a crush on her? Because that would be
He
suspicious
has a
to me.
crush on any woman that will ever say hi to him, I believe. I think that's
Sounds
pretty
like
much
Brian
how it works.
Higgins. Sounds like Brian
Yeah.
Higgins.
I mean, he looks like Brian Albert's son, actually.
Do you think I'm hot? Wait,
Like a
really? You think I'm
50-year-old hot.
hot?
Yeah. Yeah.
I think you're hot. You think I'm hot? Wait, what about
Oh,
tomorrow? Do you think I'm
you're
hot?
definitely hot. You're
You
definitely
still think
hot,
I'm
Higgins.
hot? I can't believe it. I
Yeah,
can't
we
believe
talk
it.
about that. I would, because you know, I don't know how old you are, but I'm guessing
I'm
you're
40. I'm
somewhat
40.
okay. So you're like Karen's age. That's what I was gonna guess. I was gonna say I
Okay.
think you're probably around Karen's age, maybe a little younger. What do you think about those texts? Because I'm out of the game for a long time, but for me, I just look at those texts and I'm like, that's not how you cultivate a relationship with a friend or especially a girl that you like. It just, to me, you want to just be chill and cool and not and fun and nice, not like asking them all these weird questions. What did you think about those text messages in terms of who was pursuing who? Because Buchanan at the end basically said that Karen was pursuing Higgins, and that's not how I felt on it. And a lot of people don't feel that way. What do you think about those text messages in terms of the wooing, the romantic part of it, and who's pursuing who?
Okay, I'm not the best person to answer that because I don't have a lot of game either. You know, I'm very, if I'm interested in somebody, I'll be super shy and like I won't know what to say, how to say it. I'll be super like retarded. Oh, sorry for using that word. But if it's just friends and I'm between friends, I'm outgoing, I'll make jokes and no problem. Be like, yeah, give me a number, I'll text you. But if it's somebody that I have a crush on, I'll freeze. As far as the text messages, and that's where human behavior comes in, because when you have chemistry with somebody, you just know, and it should be like easy, and it shouldn't feel forced, and it shouldn't feel like a lot of work. I think she definitely started the conversation, and he was trying to figure out, wait, are you dating somebody? Are you gonna break up with him? Or what is this? Because he was absolutely 100% interested. He seemed to be surprised that a lady that is so attractive as Kara Reed and smart and funny, like he said, would be interested in him. He seemed very surprised. So he probably doesn't get a lot of female attention. I don't know. But then after a few text messages, you could notice that Karen is probably just looking for like a distraction because she's having issues with this, she's having issues with that. She just wants to like get a distraction, get some attention, and she doesn't want to talk about if she's gonna stay in her relationship or not. Um, and he's thinking, wait, but are you really into me? Like, are we gonna? What is our future? What is it gonna? What does it look like? And she's not giving
So we
him
gotta,
that feedback because
yeah.
she's just like, well, whatever. She just changes the subject. She changes the subject. So if you can just sense that it's too much work for him to find out a simple thing if she's interested or not. At the end of the day, I think he's the one that is trying to. I think I don't know. I can't say who's pursuing who really, because to me it just seemed like she was looking for a distraction because she was having issues with John, some attention. That I can relate with. I can relate with one time that I was no longer seeing this guy, or was having issues with this guy, and I just started talking to some other guy. That was like a long time ago. And just for the attention, to see that I still got it or something. Like,
Kind of
give me some
filling the void too,
compliments.
right?
Yeah, give me some
Yeah.
compliments so I know that if this doesn't work, people still are interested in me. Not necessarily you, Brian. Like, I'm not saying that I'm gonna look for you right after I break up with John O'Keefe, but I just want to get the attention, get the compliments. So I don't know what her motivation was or where she was at with that, but it's very weird because Brian Higgins, I'm gonna say he was one of my favorite witnesses to do body language for, because he's just mm, mm, amazing. Just the answers he would give. I hope the defense calls him, because he looks so stupid on the stand. He's like, no, Your Honor, I didn't throw it away, but if I would have done that, that's what I would have done. That's literally what he said at one time. And I just think that, looking at the whole phone situation, how he destroyed the SIM card, how he had to drive to a military location, and now that we have this video of him at the Sally port, why were you there? If you're an ATF federal agent, you have nothing to do with this case. Why are you there? It's just so many things with Brian Higgins, and I don't think that the prosecution has a lot of strength bringing him in. Just saying that, okay, so what? Karen texted him, but his side of the story is so much worse that if I was the defense, I would bring him. I still have a visceral reaction just remembering his testimony, like how silly he looked. How silly he looked, really. Like a grown man, ATF agent, just giving excuses and not being able to express himself when the judge was like pressuring him. So did you throw it out? And he's like, Your Honor, Your Honor. I would bring him. I would bring him because it was fun.
I hope they bring him up. They have to bring him up. The three that I say have to come up are obviously Proctor, Higgins, and Matt McCabe. Like I need to see them three even more than Brian Albert.
Yeah. Why do you want to see Matt McCabe again?
Just because I feel like he carries so much. He's the guy who said, tell him the guy didn't come into the house. He's Jen McCabe's
Right.
husband. I think he's the weakest link in a way. Like, you think he's very intelligent because he's in tech and all this, and he's just more successful than some of the others. But I actually think, I thought his testimony was pretty explosive last time. Yeah.
Yeah. His faces are very silly too. Like I have a video
Yeah.
on the McCabe's, and his face is like, ooh, kind of like,
Yeah. Yeah.
But
And then he smiles and laughs. He's like, he has the teeth out. Like he just, It's a very strange guy.
very strange. I have a video, it's a small one called The McCabe's, and it's kind of like with a horror theme, like a horror film theme, and funny because it's just like them, the whole family, him and the wife, just gives this vibe, of like scary or strange. But did that text message come in this trial yet? The one that says, tell them
I
the
don't
guy
think
never
so.
went into this.
I
Oh,
don't think
okay.
so. Yeah. I
Yeah,
think that will
is
come in
a
there.
crucial
And
piece of evidence for the defense.
we we've done a lot of lives and videos and shows on this, obviously, and had some big nights, let's put it that way, especially with Betterow. But like I edited a video of just Matt McCabe speaking, just to some of his best testimony about that stuff.
Nice.
And it was like our number one video, like of all time, until recently. We like broke the record recently with Betterow and Steinbeck
I
like a week
saw
ago for
that.
Friday.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes,
that was
that's
like
amazing.
record breaking for us. But before that, I think that was the number one video. Was that Matt McCabe? It wasn't even a show. It was just Matt McCabe testimony. So I think that's also an indicator of why I want him on the stand. Like
Yeah.
people, they felt that. They felt his testimony. And it was good for Karen.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Let's play
One
more
of
of this. Let's play
mine, just real quick, one of my most watched was Brian Albert. Brian Albert at the end, when he was watching the closing argument, and just his facial expressions, like sitting there, very intimidating, angry. That was like the most watched on my channel when the closing argument was going on. Alan Jackson did a great job. But yeah, all of these, they seem like characters really, but all these people, it doesn't come off very genuine, it doesn't flow. There's something off about this whole situation. And when we talk about this, conspiracy, usually the first thing to think is like, yeah, that's a very difficult thing to prove. That doesn't happen, you know. But when we watch this trial, the trial that keeps on giving, and that there's just thing after thing after thing, inconsistency and just suspicious activity all over the place, it's hard to think that people are thinking that it's not, you know, it's not the
That's what
everybody
kills
else.
me. Two things I'll say on some of what you just said. Number one, Brian Albert is like the scariest Mr. Rogers I've ever seen. And when he's testifying, he tries to come off like Mr. Rogers, but you still get that scary vibe. And the other thing is, like, the big time YouTubers who are way bigger than us, some of them who try to play the middle, I've had enough of that. Like, how can you still play the middle? Like, they want to play both sides and act like it's, no. At this point, I don't understand how you can pretend to play the middle. I think that they know. I think if they're watching the trial like we all do, with an open mind, it's not even a question at this point.
Yeah, but there are big attorneys that have, you know, they have been saying like they were playing in the middle like last year, but now they're like, yeah, there's no way I could.
More of them have come our way. Definitely
Yeah.
more have come our way. And it's like, welcome to the club, boys.
Yes, we've
You
been
know.
seeing all this stuff happen since day one. It's just very in your face, you know.
Yeah.
And Brian Albert, like I didn't feel good when I was creating his videos and doing his, you know, facial expressions and stuff. It gave me like a weird feeling, like a dark feeling, to be honest with you. After a while, I was like, I have to stop. Like it was weird. His face is just, there's some darkness over there that I can't explain. Very, very strange.
Only. Well, you want to play more of this video?
Yeah. Let's finish Jennifer
Finish the
McCabe
Jennifer
here.
McCabe?
Yeah. All right.
Despite
wanna hit
her
it?
best efforts in presenting a just a mom persona, when confronted with her own statement from 5 seconds ago, Jennifer denies this statement and her face goes ballistic. I need your help on this one. Is this contempt, duper's delight, or did she invent a new microexpression?
That's true, Ms. McCabe. You have no reason to call Carrie and ask her if she had been contacted by these law enforcement agents, because it's just the truth, correct?
We're going through this whole experience together. We call each other about everything.
There would
That's
be no
nothing
reason
more
to-
than that.
So
I'm
let her-
sorry.
Let her finish her answer. Go ahead, Ms. McCabe, you can finish that.
There's nothing more than me calling and saying, hey, did they come to your house? That's what we did when the media showed up, when Miss Reed's private investigator showed up. We just give each other the heads up, hey, somebody's coming. Because we're just like normal moms. We're not used to this. My witness advocate.
The district attorney's office.
My witness advocate who works
Miss-
for the district attorney's office.
Thank you, Ms. McCabe.
Yes.
And
In a matter of seconds, our limbic system creates micro-expressions on our face that reveal our
insane,
true
right? Look at-
emotions. In this interaction, Mrs.
What,
McCabe
I don't think I've ever
emphasizes
done
the
that in my
victim
life. Like,
advocate words.
That's the tongue thing.
And her face does
That's
the
so
following,
weird.
showing aggression,
And it's so
contempt,
quick.
and stress.
Attorney's
thank you,
office,
Ms. McCabe.
yes.
And Ms. McCabe, I'm going to ask you a series of questions about your family because
Family.
I just want to make sure it's crystal clear who's who.
I called to ask her if they had been there, yes.
So that was your intent, yes?
Yes.
Okay.
Can I see it? If you can show me, do you have something I can look at to refresh my memory? But
Well, you just
It was
testified to
on-
it yesterday.
I don't need to see my transcript. I know what I know and I know what I remember. So can I see it? If you can show me, do you have something I can look at to refresh my memory? Is it in there? Would you be able to show me that? I don't need to see my transcript. I know what I know and I know what I remember. So
That's not my question.
there's nothing evil here.
Robert's number, Ms.
Thank you for watching, guys.
That's it.
BiancaMMM, your
That is it on this
It's
one.
amazing. That was amazing. Some of the, wow.
She's like, can
How
I
many
see the
hours
report?
did
Can I
you?
see it? Can I-
How many hours did you go through, like clipping, like and getting all those?
It's hard. I mean, I go through the whole testimony, sometimes more than once. But let's see, once I record all the videos that I want to clip and I sit to edit, 6 minutes video like this one, it takes me like 2 hours to do.
Wow.
Yeah.
And like, did you learn editing on your own? Yeah, I'm sure you
Yes.
did. Like, what do you use to edit with these
I
videos?
learned it on my own. I used Wondershare Filmora. I use Canva for some stuff. I'm learning a few different AI. I think it's called Glitch. So I use some different ones, but so far that's what I know. Like if somebody tells me there's another software, I'll probably look into it and try to learn. But so far, Filmora for me is easy to cut, clip, add subtitles, add stuff like that, add music, and Canva too is very simple for me to use. So I like those two.
Yeah, you do the graphic design too. That's amazing. That's awesome. I loved it. That was such a good video.
She's
Wow.
like, I don't need to see my transcripts. So that's 2025. And then 2024,
Yeah.
she was like, can I see the transcripts? Do you have it? Is it in there? Is it in there?
Is it in there?
But it's just like, and then this time she says, there's nothing nefarious here. Even though nobody said anything, nobody asked you if there was anything nefarious. She's defending herself. Last year was there's nothing evil here. So she definitely brought, a calmer persona. She definitely worked on these things. You can see that. That's what I wanted to show, the difference between 2024 and 2025, because she worked on her testimony, which is fine. I mean, that's fine, but it's still not genuine. It's still not genuine because I think that the most palpable thing about this year was her constant apologies. I'm sorry. I don't recall. I apologize. And it was a passive aggressive I'm sorry. It's like when somebody, doesn't like you very much, they're like, oh, I'm sorry you feel that way. I'm sorry you feel that way. It's not I'm sorry. Because nobody in this trial takes accountability. I don't know if you've noticed that, but they don't take accountability. Even when they're caught in a mistake, it's not like, oh yeah, we were wrong about that. Or Trooper Buchanan, yes, Trooper Proctor was completely wrong with that. No, it's like he was the best. I gave him the highest grading of a trooper, the most honorable, the most admirable work possible. But did you see the text where he called the defendant a retarded? Yes, but I still graded him. So even when they're caught and the answer, the fact is right in front of their faces, they still just like go on with their persona, with the choices that they have made. And on Trooper Buchanan, I saw some signs of narcissism. I don't know if anybody's familiar with narcissism, but I saw some. I'm not saying he's a narcissist for sure, because you have to have a whole test, but he definitely has he uses
When
gaslighting
he had his arm up, like that was so weird when he does
the
that.
whole time. Well, this is kind of like you're in a stressful situation. You can't do anything with your body. So it's kind of like creating a base, like a firm posture that will display confidence. He's trying to have that support so that he's not doing a lot with his body. And he started off actually showing in the first few seconds, it really went down very quickly for him. But he started off showing confidence and he has a very impressive background. So that was good for him. But very quickly into his testimony, he aligned himself with disgraced former Trooper Michael Proctor, kind of like putting a defense for him before anybody asked him any questions about Proctor. I think he was saying something about crime scenes can be dangerous. Sometimes it presents situations. People can get fired and unfortunately, no longer be able to testify. Nobody's asking him about that. So he quickly aligned himself with Michael Proctor, defending him, and then just became the arrogant, evasive, robotic testimony witness that we saw. He adapted this posture of having a sense of entitlement, like no matter what forensics policies and procedures are in place, I'm above it all. why are you even asking me a question? Don't you know who I am? There will be zero consequences for me. Smirks. That was his posture. It was like, what log? What do you mean? If there was anything in a different place, I would have put it there. That was his whole posture. So I think that the jury did not trust his testimony. That's the impression that I was left with at the end of his testimony. Was like, this guy thinks he's, better than everybody else, that he has no accountability, that there's no need for any procedures, any reports, because what he says is gospel. Just like he said, if Michael Proctor says it, it's gospel. That's the view he has of himself, which is a grandiosity, a sense of being superior than people. So that's another. So gaslighting is when you try to make the other person seem like they're crazy for even asking you a question. So that's something narcissists use. The sense of grandiosity. He uses the word salad too. Is when somebody asks you a question and you don't give a direct answer. You just go like all over the place. And there are other things that he does that I was like, this guy is showing some narcissism here, interesting. Because he seems to be clueless, even when he's answering something that is not good for him. He's like, why are you asking me that? Like you're ridiculous. You're ridiculous for asking me about a report. Who keeps reports? Not me. I don't need to. I used to work for the president. I don't need to answer to you or anybody. But that seems to be
His attitude.
The attitude and the, what do you call it? What they have between themselves. Like every cop protecting the other one. The
Thin blue line.
I can't think of the word right now.
Thin blue line, no snitching, back the blue. Yeah, protect each other. Yeah,
exactly. Protect each other. The circle of trust.
Exactly.
It seems to be the way that they are, and we'll see what happens next. Because even today, when they showed that picture of two guys in the autopsy, the one trooper that is was a newer trooper that said, I went to the autopsy alone, but then we have this picture of him with somebody else there. Who was that? And he signed his name like Connor O'Keefe on two lines. Isn't his name Connor O'Keefe? Like, so he's signing as he's two troopers, but there was another bald trooper with him. This case, it just doesn't stop surprising us and amazing us. And I think that's why people are so intrigued about this case, because it's like day after day, something new happens. Another bomb explodes and we're like, what's going to happen now? So we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. There's so much happening too. Like there's this whole controversy about the buffer zone. And
what's going on with that?
They've been horrible. The state police have been just over the top, and the judge too, with this buffer zone. There was a small buffer zone before, and then they made it larger. And basically, people, when they park their cars to go to the buffer zone, they can't even wear clothing with anything on it, or the state police harass them and threaten them. And
what about the First Amendment? What about the freedom of expression and being able to?
And it goes beyond even that. Like, when I go there, I'm not protesting. Like, I'm wearing this. You know what I mean? Yeah. I'm there to cover it. I'm there to record video. I'm there to interview people. I'm there to see what's going on, and they treat me like that because I haven't been, like, you have to get court approval to stand on the sidewalk and record video now. Like, that to me is like un-American. Like, you're stopping. Last time they did this to me, Mazza and I were there, Mazza Media. We had just met. We saw Turtle Boy standing there. We shook his hand and said, "Hey, what's up, Aiden?" And Aiden has gone through the court approval. So he's approved as a journalist. He can go inside the court and all that. But Mazza and I hadn't done it. So they basically separated us, and they shoot us down the street. And you could feel it, like they were going to arrest us if we didn't move off the sidewalk and move down to the buffer zone. And this time it's gotten even worse. Like, You know, and I finally actually put in my credentials. So now, like, I'm going through the
Good.
approval. If they don't approve me as a journalist, I'm on RKO every Friday afternoon giving updates. If they don't approve me, I'm going to go crazy because there's lawsuits already about this. And yeah, people, other people who are journalists have been booted off the sidewalk too. Like, it just, you know, and then they treat this woman, Erica, like a piece of dirt because she's got a sweatshirt on they don't like, and they made her literally take off her sweatshirt. Underneath, she had a Turtle Boy t-shirt, so they made her take off that. She had to go back to her car in her bra, apparently.
That's insane.
Yeah.
That I
So
saw you talking about that yesterday on your show. That is insane. That is I probably wouldn't have done that, you know. I wouldn't have taken my shirt off. If they arrest her, what are the grounds? Like
I
how
know.
what is the
Well,
charge?
the thing is some great attorneys, Randazza, First Amendment attorney Mark Randazza, he kept appealing it, and they actually won. They won their latest appeal with the U.S. Federal Appeals, and the judge had to redo the buffer zone because it was so restrictive and so over the top. So now she has a less restrictive buffer zone. And I think it's going to cause problems because I think these state police don't know the line and they don't know, their egos got out of hand. And I think that it's going to be interesting to see where this goes now because a lot of people think this is the end of the buffer zone pretty much, unless you're protesting in that zone. But remains to be seen. We'll see what the implementation there is.
Sorry, my dog is barking because somebody was
Oh,
at the door dropping a package, so I'm trying to
oh,
like calm him at the same time. But who's
what kind
gonna
of
look
dog
at
do you have?
it's a Maltese, a
Oh,
little white fluffy dog.
oh, I love
He
little white
sometimes
dogs.
comes into the stream, but I can't catch him now. So who's gonna look at your application? The judge, this judge, or somebody, or the court?
Yeah, the courts basically have this like yeah, the whole, it's like statewide. They basically, there's an application online, you print, you fill out the PDF and you send it back to them and they approve you. Yeah.
Yeah, I think you'll be fine because they approved Aiden to be in the court, and Aiden talked about everybody, even the judge. He has videos talking about her, so I think that you will be fine.
Let's
I
see.
was
We'll see.
surprised, like he's right there. I was like, oh my god, the judge probably doesn't know, you know, she probably doesn't watch Turtle Boy every night, but like I was like, oh my god, I saw him talking
To
about the
approve you.
judge,
Yeah.
and she's there,
Yeah.
like he's there right in front of her. Have you been inside the court?
No, that's the thing. That's the only way. The only way. There's only two ways to get inside the court. One is to get invited by Karen Reed's team, or the
Mm,
family of John O'Keefe on the other side, or to get that journalist pass. I
yeah.
did get invited once by Karen Reed's family, but I couldn't do it. I was, my schedule is crazy, so it's hard for me to kind of coordinate with them, and I let them know that, like, I appreciate it, but I don't want to hold them up. I don't want to hold up spaces, and so.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
basically couldn't do it, but I think I'm gonna. Hopefully, I'll get in. Hopefully, I'll get in as a journalist because I want to see this jury. I didn't get to see that last time, the first trial. I think it's important to be able to see what the jury is
Now,
doing
I
there.
would
That's
love to watch the
right.
jury's body language. I would love
Yeah,
to see that and
I
their
know.
different reactions to what's being said. I've thought about it before, but it's probably very difficult to hear everything that's going on in the court anyways. It must be a very different dynamic because we can hear everything, we can clip, we can repeat, and over there it's just different. But I would love to see the jury. I would.
Me
Just
too.
yeah.
Now, do you have other videos tonight too?
So yeah, so what I have is on Buchanan. Let me
Buchanan. Oh, I love it, Yuri.
Buchanan is a little bit of a presentation. Hold on. Can
Get
you
that up. Oh
can you
yeah, I
put
got it.
that on? And let me
I
just
got.
see how it
There you go.
begins. Because we are gonna have two small videos inside here. But okay, so this first slide, that I made in the beginning, just showing that his background was very respectable. He was a Marine, several security clearances, military police, SWAT, presidential helicopter, and he only knows Proctor since 2019. So that's just to get like the first impression that the jury got of him. Then this is what I wanted to talk about real quick, if we have.
Oh,
I'll
we have
try to
plenty of time.
Okay, so I'll try to read a little bit of this. And if anybody in the chat has a different example that I forgot, please put it here for us. So these are the things that he did not do as an investigator, as a supervisor of the lead investigator. He did not investigate that at 2:30 a.m. Lucky plowed the property and there was no car or body there. And then at around 3:30, the Ford Edge was by the flagpole. So he did not question Brian Alberts or anybody else that had a Ford Edge. He did not look further into this. He did not interview Dentano until September 2023. So Mr. O'Keefe died on January 2022. And Dentano was the person who was sober driving behind the SUV at the time they claim Karen Reed hit the victim. So he didn't even question this guy, okay? He just talked to Jennifer McCabe and that was it. So he waited 1 year and 8 months to talk to Rick Dentano. He did not investigate, correct, or admonish Michael Proctor for the text messages calling the defendant retarded. He did not investigate Brian Higgins' potential motive because of the text messages. He actually did something worse. He warned Brian Higgins. He warned to keep your integrity as a police officer, your text messages better match with what we have. What kind of warning is that? To keep your integrity. If you have integrity, you have integrity. You don't have to warn somebody, hey, this is how you keep your integrity. You don't have to do that. So that is a huge red flag for me. It shows the little circle of trust. He did not investigate Higgins being at the Sally Port, which again, why was Higgins there in the middle of the night when the SUV was being brought? He did not investigate that Michael Proctor had a prior relationship with the Alberts. The whole text message about, I'm going to get your wife a gift because you have been such a great investigator. You have been doing such a great job investigating this case. And if Proctor said he was good, he was good. Like Proctor said, there was no issue. That there's no issue. That's all Trooper Buchanan needed.
Trust me. Don't verify. Just trust me.
Don't verify. Whatever he says, I take it as gospel. That's what he said. Whatever Trooper Proctor says, I'll take it as gospel. The Massachusetts police, somebody in the Massachusetts police opened the Ring app in John O'Keefe's phone before forensics did. Did they delete anything? What did they do? What did they see? He did not take a picture of the taillight when he went to interview Karen Reed. Even when we have a small fender bender, when we hit somebody in the road, the first thing we do is take pictures. We're like, oh, let me see the damage. I got to show the insurance. I want to any little thing we have. Immediately. So what the hell, He did not separate evidence in different evidence bags. He didn't take pictures, created or kept logs. He did not call the CERT team or forensics to collect additional evidence that kept presenting itself every day. Hi, I'm evidence.
New tail
I'm
light.
here.
New tail light.
I'm here. New tail light. Shoe. Look, cat. Oh, look, I just got here.
You just drove by, we found more.
Right. So this search team, they came in, they did a methodical search, a grid, like walking step by step, didn't find anything. And then all of a sudden, February 10th, February 9th, February 11th, they just kept finding stuff. And we're going to see some of that here on this slide as well, what they found. I just wanted to point out things that he didn't do because I thought that was interesting. I'm like, that is more telling when somebody is testifying, not only what they're saying, but what they're not saying, not only what they're doing, but what they're not doing. And then go ahead.
I just want to stop you right there because with the tech, there's a big part of his testimony where Jackson had him read the text, and we talked about those texts. Whether how little game Higgins had, but the big thing for me, the takeaway on that is it felt like they were throwing it in Buchanan's face. Here's like somebody who definitely had a motive, a possible motive. Higgins has a possible motive. A love triangle. It's as old as time. We know that.
Right.
Money crazy stuff can happen.
Money and relationships.
Yeah. And you have it and you didn't investigate it. Usually, if you're in an investigation, you're basically trying to select targets and trying to eliminate them one by one until you get to the person who did it. And they didn't do that with Higgins at all. Do you think the jury picked that up? Do you think they picked up what I'm picking up? That here's Buchanan. He didn't do his job. He basically, here it is. Here's the text messages. This is what you ignored. You didn't even, because the guy's law enforcement, because he's, like you said, he's in the circle of trust.
Yes.
Do you think the jury picked that up?
Yes, I think the jury picks up how evasive he is and how he just will say like, no, I didn't do that. No, I didn't do that. And to him, that sounds like it's enough. And I don't think the jury will think that that answer is enough. I don't know if the jury is going to see how we see it. You know, look at this, look what's happening, look at the motive, look at Brian Higgins, because we know
Right.
so much more about Brian
That's what I
Higgins.
wonder. Right.
Right. So for somebody just listening to his testimony for the first time, and I think the red flags for him are more his robotic manner, his evasiveness, inability to answer direct questions, and then the arrogance when he's answering something like this question. Why didn't you look deeper into Brian Higgins having a possible motive? No, I did not do that. I just didn't. That's how he answers. So it's like that. I don't care. I don't know. I don't care. I don't have to. No. The arrogance. And I think that we see that, okay, so you're a supervisor, you're in a position of power, you're entrusted by the community, and your posture is that it's careless. It's careless. And I think that the jury will pick up on did pick up from his testimony. Just that he doesn't care. He will do one and one, but he won't do all these other things, and he doesn't apologize for any of it. He doesn't say, listen, we should have looked deeper into this, or it's just he doesn't. I think that he doesn't care, and it shows. And I think that all of us, you know, people in the jury, all of us who work, who have professions, who work with clients, who have an accountability to someone. Even when you're self-employed, you have accountability to your clients. We have to have integrity. We have to have professionalism. We have to have accountability and say, listen, here's the report, or here's the document I told you I was going to send you. Nobody's just going to say, no, you buy this. I'm a real estate broker, right? No, you buy this house. Just trust me. Just send the money here and just trust me. There is no need to see a contract. Why are you asking about a contract? Like, that's the attitude he has. So I think the jury felt that. Like, he lost real quick. Actually, he began very arrogant, but by day 3, he was answering yes, sir, no, sir. If you didn't notice with Alan Jackson, his demeanor definitely changed after he was pressured and pressured and pressured. Kind of like he got tired of combating, and he just had to agree with Alan Jackson on certain things. And he was like, by day 3, he had changed his demeanor a little bit. He was like, yes, sir.
Kind of broken down a little bit.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. We did have a super chat I want to read because it's a correction too. I appreciate this. Vivenda. Did I say that? Vivenda.
Viviendo con Edna.
Thank you so much for that. I should have taken Spanish. I really should have. The text did come in. The one that said, tell them the guy never came in the house. It was during Jen's testimony. So apparently that did get mentioned.
Okay. Good.
I think,
good.
Yeah, I do remember that now.
Yeah, I mean,
Excellent.
that's great. That has to be in. That has to be in. And what was I saying? Okay, what I was trying to remember earlier, like the word is the culture. The culture they have is protect each other. The circle of trust. You know, we're not going to question. Remember when Gallagher said, I think it was last year, Gallagher said, when asked about, did you go interrogate or interview Brian Albert? He's like, of course not. Of course not. So it's the culture. Like, he's not going to get any heat because he's a Boston cop. Brian Higgins, here, we're going to get your phone, but make sure it matches. It's the whole culture. So this is very explicit now. It's not even a conspiracy. This is like in your face, introduced as evidence through testimony that he did warn Brian Higgins to have his phone match the other phones that he had. So it's showing the culture that they have of protecting one another. So what if Brian Higgins had something to do with the murder? You don't want to verify his phone and find something. You don't care about the reality. You don't care about what actually happened to John O'Keefe. You're warning this guy, make sure that your phone is clean. So that shows the level of integrity that they have. It's all about protecting each other. And now this is in evidence. It's no longer a conspiracy. So we'll see. We'll see what the jury thinks about Trooper Buchanan.
Funny because I think their best defense now is like, yeah, so what? They protected their own, but she still did it. I mean, I think that's almost like their best because it's so obvious, like you said. There's no denying it.
Yeah, yeah. They all have that attitude. They all have the attitude of like, no, I didn't ask for a warrant. I know what a warrant
I didn't
means.
ask to go in the house. I didn't ask to
Yeah.
search around the house.
Yeah, and that's it. That's it. That's their culture. But this case has been crucial into exposing what's happening over there, and I think that's why people are so interested as well in this case. And I don't know if this is gonna be able to continue for too much longer because now everybody's paying attention on every move they make.
Right.
But it's obviously a culture that has been there for many, many years.
Oh, definitely. Like 3 generations.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's Tom Kelleher, the guy who lived across the street. I went to college with him, Bridgewater State.
Wow.
And his father was a police officer in Canton, and his grandfather was the police chief. So like it's like he's like a lot of these guys, 3rd generation police officer in the same town you grew up in, you know, like that's how it
Wow.
is. And you imagine how much they know about each other when there's 3 generations of them.
Yes, yes. All the dirt, all the things
Yeah.
that they
They
abuse
know
their
all
power
each other's
on.
relatives. Yeah, they know everything. They know about the wives. They know about the kids. They know everything about each other.
Yeah, it's very I'm kind of like I don't know if I would ever date a cop. Somebody was telling me the other day, "Oh, well, let's go to these events. There's a bunch of police officers. You'll find somebody there." I'm like, I don't know if I would date a cop because they do cover each other. You know, they have this like aggressive side. Some of them, they have a fame that it's not the best
Power
to date.
bounce.
Yeah, they like have this power, and I don't know. I wouldn't trust. Because look
Yeah,
at
I
the
don't think
situation that you can be in, like Karen Reed. You know,
that's
look at
right.
the situation. She lost everything. I'm watching this as a third party. I don't even live there. To me, you know, it's like distant in a way. But I have a friend that her daughter just you know went through this trial and all of this, and she was telling me I had to put my house as a collateral. We don't sleep, you know, we lost everything, and it's consumed my life, and it's just unimaginable to be in this position just because you are in the wrong place at the wrong time with the wrong people. You know, Karen had the wrong people around her. Unfortunately, you can see all their personalities now when we watch them, how they really are. And these are not people to be friends with. You know, these are people that have each other's backs. I feel terrible about what's happening with Karen because it takes everything. I mean, just the stress, just the burden, and her parents. Oh, it makes me sad, really, for her parents, especially, you know, that they're elderly and having to endure all this. It's terrible, and a lot of it is because of abuse of power. And you can see from the prosecutor, that they don't have a strong case. They're still trying to fight to introduce new things, to continue working on it, because you don't have a strong case. Like today with the ME, they went through their whole case. Did you know this? Did you know she said I hit him? Did you know she said this? Did you know that? Did you know this? Yeah, we do. Yeah, I know. It's still undetermined. It's still not a homicide, Brandon. It's still undetermined. So
Her parents are the nicest people. I've met them both, and
oh,
they're the nicest people. You know, Mrs. Reed actually watches a lot of the shows. I know that for a fact. So she could be
hi,
even
Mrs.
watching tonight.
Reed. God
Hi,
bless
Janet.
you. Lots
Yeah,
of
we love.
love, lots of love
I love Janet Reid.
and
She's the
strength.
best. And Kelly Reid is in the chats a lot. She watches the shows. The cousin. So what?
Awesome.
Let's watch this because I love Buchanan. I love how cocky he is. I love when he gets his elbow up and tries to be the hard guy. But then, like you said, at the end, he Alan Jackson broke him.
Broke him. He broke him. Yes. I was like questioning if he was gonna have a job, but apparently everybody's saying he was already, admonished and that's it. But the testimony did not go well for him. It showed his level of professionalism, what's acceptable for him and what he considers integrity and honor. And that is not what anybody else considers. But anyway, this is going to be a small video about his reaction when he was asked about the dog. So let's see what his body language did when he was asked about the dog. Okay, so first is the explanation, then the video. Okay, so let me go. So as soon as he's asked about, what about the dog, on the top left here is kind of like his regular face, his baseline. He does a little nervous laughter. He does a lot of this with the lips, like brings them up together, showing restraint. And then he looks down to the right, which is what we were talking about when you're trying to fabricate an answer or access your creative side. And then real quick, which seems to be like a little laughter, turns into serious upside down lips that he does, which is disapproval and anger. So let's see. And I'm going to show you guys the video on this. Another thing he does a lot of is the biting up, which restrain, again, nervousness. And this is just more explanation of what he does real quick. And then I'm just repeating. Then he's going to rearrange his posture on the seat, which he does a lot. And let's see.
You're aware that the Alberts, Nicole Albert, Brian Albert, had a dog that they named Chloe.
Notice how nervous the question about the dog makes the trooper feel. There is a quick, nervous laughter and nose flare indicating anger. He does little biting movements which show restraint and a subconscious attempt to control impulses. He looks upright and downright, accessing his creative side, which could indicate he's trying to fabricate an answer. Then he rearranges himself in the chair in an attempt to regain confidence, control, so that he can answer.
Right, he does that whole thing right there at the end.
Yeah.
That is so. Wow. That's a great video. I'll get a comment from Amar of Alessi who says,
July 20
"Oh, is this still going? I'm
on
sorry.
January 28th.
I'm sorry.
That's
I
okay.
didn't mean
No,
to
go
interrupt
ahead.
it.
Go ahead.
I thought the video was over. I thought that was a short video. I didn't
don't
mean
even
to.
know. Go ahead. Go. Okay. So
All right,
we're
we'll put
gonna
it back
play-
up.
go- yeah,
We can always rewind it, right?
Yes. No, it's fine.
It says, yes, this trial is like a soap opera, but seeing lots of really good people conversing, teaching, standing up is so much part of the appeal. Thank you. Amar of Alessi. Love of Alessi. Well, let's talk about Alessi real quick before we finish this
Amor.
video up. Amor.
Amor.
You're gonna have to teach me how to pronounce things a little
I'll teach
more.
you some words. No problem.
Yeah, I have difficulty. You can tell. So like Alessi's been phenomenal.
He's excellent. He's excellent. He's so likable. He's so well-mannered and just pleasant, just classy, smart. I mean, who doesn't like all of that? Even with the witnesses from the prosecution, he's like, "Good afternoon. We didn't have the pleasure of meeting yet." He's so, and that's a great thing when the truth is on your side as well, and when you have facts. He's smart, prepared, so he goes through the facts without having to put anybody down, without having to be aggressive or condescending. It's just class act. Phenomenal. I love him. And his name is not Alessi, by the way, Brennan. It's Alessi. He keeps
Alessi,
calling him Alessi.
Alessi. Did I do it better? Amor? Amor.
Sorry,
Do it again.
what-
Amor. Amor of Alessi.
Amor of Alessi.
This is great. I'm getting some speech lessons.
Yes, a little bit of Spanish, sprinkle Spanish. Amor.
I feel-
Even though I'm from
I feel like-
Brazil, so
yeah.
I speak Portuguese, but we say amor in
Oh,
Portuguese.
amor.
Amor.
So you're from Brazil. You're
Yes.
Portuguese and Brazilian?
No, Portuguese is the language we speak in Brazil.
Ah,
Yeah, it's
I
okay because
see.
Portugal, people that are born in Portugal, they are Portuguese, but
Right.
Brazil speaks Portuguese. So yeah, but I learned Spanish when I was here in high school, and it's very similar. So I know the words, especially when you're reading it, I know them. But in Spanish, you say amor, and in Portuguese, where I'm from, you say amor with an R at the end. Amor.
Which we don't say. We don't say our R's here. Ah,
Yes.
we don't say here. It's so funny. So you know at least three languages. You're 2 ahead of me at least.
3 languages, yes. Yes.
Amazing.
Plus body language.
And then body language. Yeah, there's your 4th one. Let's get back to the body language. You get this video I interrupted. I wanna watch
Okay.
all of
Let me-
Buchanan.
Let me play Buchanan. Let's see.
29th of 2022, correct? Objection.
I'll allow the question. Were you aware of that?
At what point in time, sir?
January 28th, 29th, that area.
Was I aware that they owned a dog on January 28th or 29th?
No. Are you aware now that on January 28th or 29th, they owned a dog? There was a dog in the house?
Now I am aware, yes.
Okay. During the course of your investigation, you learned that, correct?
Yes.
During the course of your investigation, did you also become aware that the Alberts got rid of their family dog? Objection.
I'm going to see you at sidebar on this, please.
Sure.
Okay, I think that was it for this one. Let me see if this is another video. I think
Sometimes
it is.
investigations are rapid, so you can't write a report. You take notes, and some time goes by before you actually document the information on an official report. The information's there, it's gathered.
So this is the beginning of his, he's explaining to the jury, he's showing confidence, he's looking at the jury, he's used to using these words. So I just wanted to point out, he's like doing like this, and he's gonna hold his elbow here to show confidence in what he's saying.
It's maintained by the investigator, it's shared, it's acted on at times, but the official reports might take some time to write.
So obviously, if you're, like you said, things are fast moving in an investigation. It might be that you interview a witness on a Tuesday, you're super busy on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. It might be Friday.
And sorry to interrupt again, but the stressors here are because he's saying, well, yeah, sometimes it takes a while to write a report. And he knows Alan Jackson's going to say, okay, sure, you can take a few days, a week, but a year, 2 years, like he knows. So he knows that what's coming, and the way that he's dealing with it is through several adapters, several things that are happening to him. He's going to grab the water again. He takes a deep breath. He's going to change his posture, eyebrows raised. He drinks water. He looks up. All of these things are happening to his face because he knows Alan Jackson is going to confront him about, okay, sure, you can take a few days to write a report, but that's not what happened here, right?
Before you can even sit down and draft a report about that interview that you did on Tuesday, correct?
Different circumstances dictate differently.
That would be completely normal.
Yes, it is.
But most
So the voice tonality here too, and moving away from the microphone, it just shows a sense of entitlement, because again, this is a form of gaslighting. You're trying to make the other person who is asking you a very good question seem like they're crazy. So did it take you a year to write a report? Well, different circumstances, different reactions. Like it doesn't matter. So then he does a lot of that too. Like he'll keep his hands here, interlaced fingers can convey a range of emotions, including confidence and sense of authority. And it's a way to control what your hands are doing. And the more you stress, the more you're going to press them together, which he's going to do in his testimony.
It's best practices, and you're taught, and you teach your subordinates that it's best practices
Look at
to
the
reduce
anger.
to writing and memorialize a report.
If somebody does
For
that to you, you
instance,
know they
best
want to fight.
practices to reduce to writing and memorialize a report as close in time to the event in question that's being memorialized as you can, right? Obviously, perfect world.
In the perfect world, we'd write it as it's happening.
Yeah, but it doesn't have to be a perfect world for you to write a report a week later, a few days later, or whatever. I don't know why I have this here, but I think it's because something about Dentano. So this is just, silly slide I had made with the property at 12:45. They said there was a little bit of snow, not a lot of snow. Then we had Karen SUV here moving to the flagpole. And that's when Ryan Nagel's SUV was behind her SUV. I'm sorry, Ryan Nagel's truck was behind her SUV. So around 12:45 a.m., Julie Nagel comes out, says, "Never mind, bro, I'm going to stay," and goes back to Brian Albert Jr.'s birthday party. So I don't know why I have this in the middle here. I'm going to continue playing, but it's probably because he didn't question the people that were in this truck for a year and a half later. And I think that's what they're talking about here, how long it took you to do some of these investigative tasks. Let's see. Okay, yeah, okay. So these are the two people that were in the truck. They were there when Karen was there, and this is a picture from Twitter, and it's not a real picture. But this is the 47 pieces of taillights that would be revealing themselves after the search team had conducted a methodical search. So this just shows, the level of professionalism and investigative skills that Trooper Buchanan has in actuality, which is very different from what he portrays to have through his arrogance when he's testifying.
Are you aware that more than 20 official police reports in this case were not recorded for more than 100 days?
I don't know what that is, what he's receiving there.
The event in question was done, was being memorialized?
He is cyborg.
I did not know the exact
That
yeah,
is weird. It's like some kind of glitch.
That was some kind of glitch.
date
I don't know how I couldn't do that.
delay.
Are you aware that there are 11 reports that are more than 300 days from the time of the event that was being memorialized?
I was not aware, no.
Are you aware that there are 3 reports that are more than 400 days
Wow.
from the time of the event that was being memorialized?
He's
I am
talking
not
to
aware,
somebody.
no.
Are you aware that there are 4 reports that are more than 500 days from the time of the event that's being memorialized?
I am not aware, no.
Are you aware that the longest delay of any report in this investigation was 581 days?
I am not aware of that, no.
Big eyebrow raise.
You became aware early on in your investigation of 2 individuals named Ricky Dentano and Heather Maxon, correct?
They are witnesses, yes.
Look at the
Both Ricky Dentano
disregard.
and Heather Maxon, you learned, were outside 34 Fairview in the early morning hours of January 29th, correct?
We did learn within our investigation at some point, yes.
So yeah, those are the little face expressions he does in the middle, just between these questions. Big swallow, the tongue, I got caught, the sour face, disapproval, stress, rapid blink raise,
And you learned,
aggression, all
Sergeant, very early on in that
second, look at
investigation
that.
because you interviewed Ryan Nagel in February of 2022. It's just days after the event, correct?
I'm not sure of the exact date.
Obviously, as you just said, you became aware that Ricky Dentano and Heather Maxon were witnesses in your homicide investigation, important witnesses, you'd agree, correct?
They were witnesses.
You learned that they arrived at the house at 34 Fairview sometime after Karen Reed and John O'Keefe arrived and pulled up behind their parked SUV, correct?
Objection.
I'm going to allow that.
Can you repeat that, please?
Sure, you learned that
Who is he
where
looking
they
at up
fit
there?
into the investigative puzzle is that they pulled up behind Karen Reed's SUV when Karen Reed and John O'Keefe arrived at 34 Fairview. They pulled up sometime after that and pulled up right behind them, correct?
That's not correct.
What is not correct about that?
They arrived simultaneously. Karen Reed took a right onto Fairview. They yielded to them and followed towards 34 Fairview, stopping at the driveway as Karen Reed proceeded
my fault.
further up.
Did you listen to the testimony
sounds like
in
a
this case
robot.
up to this point?
No.
So what did he do? What did he do? If he didn't talk to the people that were there at 12:45 a.m., he talked to Jennifer McCabe, right? And then what else? He kept instructing the officers to keep driving by Fairview every day to see if anything would reveal themselves. He took evidence from the chief of police, and then he found evidence on February 3rd, February 4th, February 8th, February 10th, February 11th. He wrote that the location that he found was 34 Fairview. That's where he found the shoes, the hats, the taillights. Now, 34 Fairview is a pretty big property. Was it in the house? Was it in the garage? Was it in the backyard? Where was it? Because that's what this evidence little yellow paper says, 34 Fairview. That is the location these pieces of evidence were found. And he was very angry that Alan Jackson was questioning him about a specific location. Now, here's another question that we talked about earlier. Why didn't he take a picture of the damaged tail lights? These are the things that he brought into evidence. So these are the things that he did do, right? This is his work, his A+ honorable and full of integrity work. And right there is when they had Karen Reed's SUV. They went to the house, and why didn't he take a picture when he went to question her? I don't know. This guy doesn't know. Mike doesn't know. We don't know. It's just super suspicious that the investigation consisted into taking what Jennifer McCabe said and then just taking stuff that Trooper Proctor kept bringing, saying there's more evidence. Trooper Proctor found all that extra evidence and no questioning about anything. We, remember what we went over, the things he didn't do. And that is enough for the prosecution to not have brought this case. There's just so much reasonable doubt constantly in everything. It's not one, it's not two, it's every witness that comes in. Today we had the ME and she's like, well, yeah, there was no injury. There was no broken bones, nothing that we usually see when there is a car collision. I couldn't say it's a homicide. I couldn't say. Every witness that comes in shows more reasonable doubt. It would be almost impossible for a jury to find her guilty 100% and without, they have to be unanimous. So that is like something that I don't see as a possibility. And at this time, they're talking about, asking for, well, not they are talking, but people are talking about asking for mistrial or dismissal because Brennan wants to introduce new evidence and keep going back and forth. But I don't think that's what the defense wants because they want to have a resolution for this case. They want this to be gone and over. And they know they have a very strong case. So I think that's it for this slide, Mike. Yes, that's it for this slide. So, what are people saying here in the chat? In the chat, I can't hear you. Are you on mute? You're on mute.
Questionnaire.
You're on
Am
mute.
I on mute?
Yeah. Now you're not. No, you
Okay.
were before.
All right.
Amor of a, say it, Mike. Amor of a.
Amor. They say it right? Amor. Avalessi says, Bianca, did you include a moment with Higgins where it looked like he was poised to attack Alan Jackson?
With Higgins or with Buchanan? Higgins hasn't testified yet.
I wonder if they're thinking about the first trial, maybe.
Oh, the first trial. I I think I have like a 2.5 hour video on Brian Higgins. That was it was just fun. I remember I was recording it like in the middle of the night because I was so into Brian Higgins, just demeanor, and he just looked so silly. It was funny for me to watch that. But yeah, I'm hoping that Brian Higgins comes in, that we can watch him again testify. I want to see what he's gonna say about destroying his phone. That's what I want to see.
Today, because today it seemed like a catastrophe. It seemed like, why did you bring her up there? Why did you bring her up if you didn't know what she was going to say, you know?
DME, you mean the
Yeah.
coroner?
Yeah.
No, I think they had to because
Yeah.
she's the one that shows the victim died, right? They have to prove that somebody died, and they knew kind of what she was going to say because she said it last time. She said
Right.
she testified pretty much the same last time. The thing
Yeah.
that was added this year was when Brandon went through his whole case, his weak case. Did you know? Did you know that this guy heard this? Did you know that this person heard that? Da, da, da. And then she still said, yes, I knew all those things. But still, and then Alessi made the point, and you still couldn't determine it as a homicide. And, that was new. But everything else, we knew. We knew that she would talk about the lower extremities, the lack of bone fracture, the lack of bruising, which would be consistent, and it is consistent with most car collisions. It's just looking at his, and also I think that Alessi is going to be fighting the hypothermia thing, the hypothermia finding, because they want to say that John O'Keefe died somewhere else and his body was moved. So he's going to bring an expert to debunk that, and we saw some of that today during his cross.
Going to come down to the battle of the experts, and I think the defense wins on that too. I mean,
We got the best experts. We got the best experts.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Brennan just hates ARCA. Let me just take a moment. Do you remember when Brennan was doing the voir dire with Dr. Wolf?
Dr. Wolf, yes.
Oh my God, I hated him that day. I mean, I didn't have a opinion, but that day I was like, this guy is so classless. He's just looking like an idiot. He's talking to these two men that have so many credentials, is so qualified, that they're hired by the federal government, and he's talking to them like they're nothing. Like, Brennan, you look ridiculous. That was just so unprofessional. It was just unprofessional. I understand he doesn't like that they have, great evidence for the defense. I understand he doesn't like the fact that they're coming in, but he was unprofessional. He was just gross that day. I was very mad about the way he talked to them.
Yeah, that was not a good look. And the crash daddies, as they call them,
The
women love them.
daddies.
The women love Are you one of them? Are you a fan of the crash? Are you?
He's married, so I can't.
He is married.
I can't think of him that way, but he's beautiful, of course.
He is beautiful.
The dimples, and he's so nice and just.
You see, even me, I'm a straight man, and I think
Right.
his dimples are very cute. He's got cute dimples.
They're both handsome, but Dr. Wolf is like,
Next
cut
level.
out of a magazine. So
Yeah.
and nice and smart and professional and funny, and he built a cannon. It's like, please stop, sir. Stop. You're making all of us sin,
Oh no.
Yes.
Funny. This is it's there's so much funniness in this with the whole crash daddies and this daddy and that. They were calling me the hair daddy at one point. That was
Really?
I didn't like that one, so I think I didn't run with that. I liked the young jelly. That was the one I liked.
That's funny. And that was from a troll.
Yeah, it was from a troll. I like the trolls. I just like having fun with them, even though I don't like them, but you know what I mean? It's fun.
I only had one troll one time. I think I blocked him because he would be on and I guess that's what they're there for. I wasn't used to it. But everything was negative. He was like contradicting everybody. He was calling everybody names and just annoying. And we're like, all right, just block this guy. And then he was gone. He would come to a few of our lives, and I'm like, if you don't like the content and you don't agree with anything we say, why are you here? They just do it for fun, right? I don't know. I don't have other trolls, thankfully. Not yet. Maybe I'm not there yet.
Biggest fans, they really are. Here's a good comment, Thomas T. He's throwing this one out here. The big white man. You probably, Bianca, you probably don't know the story about the big white man, do you?
No. Tell me.
So I almost ran for Canton Select Board because I wasn't sure about the candidate that was running, and she turned out to be phenomenal. She's very strong, educated. She's a veterinarian, which I love, and I ended up supporting her. This candidate not running, and I'm not from Canton, so obviously it wasn't that that serious. It was more like a protest type thing, but I was considering it, and I was trying to make a point about it. And my girlfriend is watching it, and she said, "Oh, look at the big white coming to save." So she was giving me all kinds of crap. So like any campaign, and I wasn't even officially declared. I was exploring it. I was considering it on the show, and I was discussing it. I said, so I came up on the show and I talked to her. I said, like, the biggest reason why I can't run is because my girlfriend is right now calling me the big
The big white man to save us all.
Yeah, and she had a point, especially with this woman, especially, the thing for me is I just wanted to make sure she was strong on the issues, this candidate. And once I heard her actually, and she wasn't speaking, that's why I was getting upset, because I was like, she won't do the show. She's not, we don't know. And then when I saw her actually speak, when I found out there were video of her speaking from a year before that I didn't know about, and I realized that she was putting out good stuff in her platform, that was like, I'm not running. I'm going to support this strong, awesome woman who's actually from Canton, which
That's
I
nice.
did. But, it was funny. It was just...
Did she win?
She did one. She defeated a 30-year incumbent who backed the police chief, and it was an amazing win because she won like huge. It wasn't like I expected a close race. What I feared is that she was going to lose by 50 votes. You know what I mean? That would be because I see that all the time. These campaigns, they put up a great, fight, and they come so close, and then they lose by like 50 votes. She won by over 1,000 votes. It wasn't even close. It was like a 2-to-1 landslide. Never happens where you beat someone who's been in office for 30 plus years. You know what I mean?
Yeah, the people
Like, so,
wanted that change. You can see that they
They
wanted
did.
the change, and they
they did.
spoke.
And they didn't want the big white man. They wanted Susan Harrington. She's phenomenal. I'm glad she won,
Wow.
and and I'm glad I can show that I can take it being called the big white man. I get it.
That's so funny. Mike, let
Hey,
me be right back.
I am a big white. You gotta go.
I gotta go to the
You gotta run.
bathroom.
Oh, go. We should
be-
probably wrap it up soon. Do you have
Okay,
more
okay.
video too? What do you before you
If
go?
you want, I do have one.
Okay.
You want me to play while I go?
Yeah, go take a break, and we'll bring it up when you come back.
Okay, I'll be right back.
I can talk more. So yeah, we've been a while with Bianca. It's been since 6 o'clock. It's been 2 hours already. No wonder why she's got to go. So Ask Bob says Micah saved Canton. I don't know. I don't know if I did. I think that Rita and Kathleen, and I could go on and on and on. There's so many people I think that have done good things for Canton. John Como. I got to say Trish Boyden. Trish Boyden. And Susan Harrington. She's going to do good things. And all the people who supported her. So. See, once I told the big white man story, Bianca runs off. I scare her off with the big white man thing. I think it's hilarious. Some of my people here think it's hilarious, but I don't know if Bianca did. I think it... Did you get... Oh, she brought her dog. This is perfect. I love it. Aw. I was going to say, I think I scared you off with the big white man thing.
No, I really needed to pee. Oh my God.
did.
I was like, oh my God, I gotta pee. I can't hold it.
What's this doggy's name? I'm a big dog guy.
His Whisper.
Whisper?
Whisper. He
Oh,
is
Whisper.
my best friend. My best
Oh,
friend. My companion. We have so much fun together. I'm a big dog lover. We go to the
me
dog
too.
park all the time, and I just love them. They're so genuine and pure, and it's just my mental health, just spend
Yeah,
time with them. Hold on, Whisper. Let me
it's
fix it.
the
Let me
best thing
fix
ever. I don't
Let
know
me
if you
back.
know that I'm a dog walker, dog sitter, and like I was full time forever. Even though I've cut back, I'll never stop. Just because it's
Aw.
just the best. It just you get to be around them. They're just such. It's so happiness when you show up at their house. They're sitting there in the door. They're like, "Ah, you're here again. Take me for a walk." It's the best
Yeah.
stuff.
So you would like go to people's houses when they travel and stuff and walk the dogs?
Some of that. I also
Some
live
of
in a
them.
kind of a rich area, so like a
Mm.
lot of my customers are at home. They have nannies, they have butlers, they have cooks, they have this, they have that, and so I'm just another guy that shows up and takes out their dog, so they don't have to walk them, and just
Oh
get that dog
wow.
regular exercise, like,
That's on
you know,
another level. Another level.
yeah. So there's a lot of
Very
that, and there's also people who like teachers, we'll do the Monday through Friday thing for them, or we'll take them out at noon, That's a lot
mm-hmm.
of the reason why I can't go to court a lot because usually about midday we get busy Monday through Friday. We're taking out the teachers' dogs and different workers. So yeah, that's also another thing.
That's awesome. I'm actually
Yeah,
gonna watch two dogs in June and then one dog in August. Just friends, from the dog
yeah.
park. Because it's
There you
hard to
go.
trust somebody and they
Oh, you
just see
should.
like
Unless they're
uh,
taking care of your dog when you travel, you should definitely charge. There's some liability there too. I
mm,
think you should. I think you
oh,
should
you mean
definitely do that.
charge? Oh,
Yeah,
charge or no, I am gonna they say they're gonna pay me. I'm like, okay, it doesn't matter because they're just little cute
I
dogs,
know.
very mellow, very nice. I'm gonna be so happy to have them here.
Aw,
But yeah, like I was like thinking about all these things and what if something happens and I just want to put
yeah.
them in a bubble. I don't want anything to happen to them. And but we see each other all the time at the dog park. So I think that it's so funny. Like the other day, this friend I have, she said, I'm not gonna be at the park. My husband is going. I don't know her husband, but I know you want to see Teddy, and Teddy's the dog. So I just want to let you know my husband is going to the park with Teddy, and I went to the park to see Teddy, the dog. And I was
Teddy.
like, oh, you must be
Aw,
the husband. Hello, but I'm here for Teddy.
of
They're the
course.
best. And then they come right up to you, they're like, oh my
Oh
God,
yeah,
hi, hi. I'm like, hi. And
I
they're
love
just
it.
so genuine. I love, I love, I love, I love. So let me,
Yeah. We it's funny because like I'll walk some of my dogs. Like I have this one dog, and
what
he
kind of
comes to
dogs do
the.
you have?
Oh, I have a what is he called? Oh, I don't want to say it wrong. Oh man,
That's okay.
Pekingese. No, is it a
Aw.
Pekingese? Yeah, it is a Pekingese. I always say the other one. I get it mixed up, but it is a Pekingese. But I have this one dog that I walk, and he's a wicked cool lab. And he always likes to stop by this other house that has a lab, and the dog will be at the door. His mother will open the door for him when my dog walks by, and he'll come out on the line to meet the other dog, and they do their little roll around. So it's like a date. They come and meet each other, but the other dog passed away recently, and it's so
Oh.
brutal walking by there because it's like, oh, he's always looking for him. You know what I mean? It's funny. It's the
Oh.
dogs become like they can become friends with each other, in the neighborhood.
Yes. Yes, they definitely do. And they're so smart. It's like, I think Whisper speaks two languages at least, because I talk to him in Portuguese and I talk to him in English and he understands.
That's
Seriously,
right.
especially when it's food related. He's like, okay, what you
That's
got?
it.
What you need?
They pick up on it. My dog has like 10 different names. He picks up on every single one of them.
Me too. I call him every people are like, who's Lulu? I'm like, Lulu, come here, Whisper, blah, 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 whatever name I want to call him. And he's like, okay, hi.
Hi, give me a
So
treat.
sweet. Yeah. Oh, he needs to lose some weight. That's hard for me because
Oh,
I give him everything he wants. He is 16.5 pounds. He's supposed to be like, I don't know, 13 or something. And come here, Whisper. Let's look at your belly. Let's show everybody your belly.
see, that's when you hire me to walk them. Walk that weight off. That's what we do.
Man. But the treats.
Give him some extra exercise. He's
The
the treats. Yep.
Yeah. He scratches at the cabinet and I say, no more. But then I'm like, all right, fine. Every day.
Every day. He's in charge. He knows what he wants.
Yeah. So let me put this video here,
Okay.
and I don't know if it's gonna start right away, but I'm going to pause it as soon as I can because Trooper B video. Okay, you have to put it on.
How to use.
Okay, wait. Okay, so this one I think is a little long. It might be like 19 minutes or so. So if you want to stop at any point, just stop. Okay, or let me know.
Okay.
All right.
You too.
Let's play.
Use the word I was about to use. That ensures the adequacy of the investigation, correct?
Yes.
To use your word, that ensures the integrity of the investigation. Is that right?
Yes, that's correct.
As you sit here today, do you
Trooper
believe that
B,
this
shame,
investigation,
shame.
now I'm going to turn to this investigation,
This one
was
Shane.
conducted with professionalism, with competence, at the highest level of integrity?
Integrity.
I like
This
the loading.
investigation was conducted professionally with integrity, and all the evidence collected, all the statements collected pointed in one direction. There was no bias influence on the evidence, on the information that was collected, or which direction.
Look at that face. Super eyebrow raise. Disapproval. He doesn't like the question.
The investigation pointed naturally.
Insecure.
Former Trooper Michael Proctor
Disgrace.
was the person who was the assigned case agent, the lead case agent in this particular investigation, correct?
Michael Proctor was the case officer for this investigation.
He was assigned ultimately, to use another phrase, as the lead investigator, wasn't he?
I'm not going to agree with you.
Is there a reason that you want to try to distance yourself from naming Michael Proctor as the lead investigator?
I noticed he's doing that chin jut a lot. That's a good one that you know. And Jennifer McCabe too, the chin jut. That's like one of the ones that's easy to see all the time, right?
Yeah.
Like, I'm gonna step out 1 second. But I'm gonna, want to continue to play the video. I'm gonna try to grab my dog too. He likes to come down here. He was itching to come down earlier, but he gets into trouble. So it's good to have him at the end of the show where I can keep an eye on him.
Yeah, get him. So we'll have a dog section.
We will.
All right, I'll keep playing.
We'll restart it. Cool.
All right.
In the case. Is there some reason?
I am not trying to distance myself. All I'm saying is the term that I use is the case officer. We're simply case managers. There's no leading investigation in any direction.
So in your mind,
How can you say that with a straight face? There's no leading in an investigation. And then he has the clasped hands in the front, which is a desire to appear composed. And he's doing the resting the arm on the stand for support and comfort. And again, the chin jut. So he says it with a straight face. There's no leader in an investigation.
well, let me ask you this. He's a case officer, another word for that, synonym would be an investigator, right? He's a detective, an investigator, correct?
He is a detective, yes.
And he was the one who was assigned by the Massachusetts State Police because of his on-call status that night, or that morning, January 29th, 2022, he was assigned to the case, correct?
Michael,
Yes or no? Assigned to the case. That's all I'm asking.
well, you said a lot before that. So
I said
See,
he was
this is
assigned
what
to
I
the
mean
case.
by
You can't-
him
what I said
being
before, that was
unable
January
to
29th.
be direct. He's just unable to answer direct questions. And I think people pick up on that. He shows confidence, right? Because he's doing this, but arrogance. And he also smirks because he seems to know that there is no consequence for him.
2022, he was assigned by the Massachusetts State Police as the case officer for this case. Right?
no,
Who was?
he was assigned to be on call a month prior. Just because he was on call, he was assigned the case as a result. He was not assigned the case right there and then because his assignment began
Look at the word salad. He goes
much
in a
earlier in the day.
circle.
Do you believe that Michael Proctor, his involvement in this case, taints the investigation? Tainted the investigation?
No.
After you received the photo That's
is
when you
Michael
said, I'm
Proctor,
quote,
if you don't know
funny,
him.
I'm going through his retarded client's phone. Is that right?
Objection.
Allow this, but not too many.
Sure. Is that correct? It's on the top of page
Yes, sir.
685.
That's correct.
And your Buchanan liked that comment. Funny, I'm going through his retarded client's phone. Didn't it? Not at all.
The investigation was done with honor, integrity, and all the evidence pointed in one
Did he
direction, one
taint
direction
the
only.
investigation?
Honor and integrity by Michael Proctor.
He really doesn't want to answer that. It's the question.
Was that a question? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Sure is. Everything I say is question. Honor and integrity by Michael Proctor, Sergeant? Okay.
Sustain to the comment. Go ahead and ask it again, Mr.
I'll ask you again. You said honor and integrity. Honor and integrity by Michael Proctor? Objection.
I'll allow it.
The investigation was conducted with honor and integrity, and all the evidence pointed in one direction and one direction only.
So, Sergeant Buchanan, you don't want to answer my question. Correct?
I will answer your question, absolutely.
Do you think this case was handled with honor and integrity by
Michael Proctor.
Sergeant?
The investigation was handled with integrity by Michael Proctor.
How can you say that with a straight
You do
face?
know that he-
Sociopath.
Touched or had input in
Big
nearly
swallow.
every part of this case, obviously, as the case officer, correct?
He managed the case.
So he had some input or had some connection to nearly every part of the case, be it the physical evidence, the
Marina.
search warrants, the interviews, things of that nature.
He was one of the involved with collecting evidence, conducting interviews, and signing affidavits for the search warrants.
He didn't take a minor role in this case. He had a major role in this case. Would you at least agree with that?
He had a role that was more significant than others. A major role would, to me, suggest that he had 51% or more. And with a team of the size that we had working on this case, he did not have a major role.
So
With
you believe, as you sit
compassion?
here today, your testimony is Michael Proctor did not have a major role in this investigation of Commonwealth versus Karen Reed because he didn't have 51% of
That's so
something?
ridiculous.
That's your testimony?
That's the way I understand it, yes.
Okay.
Nobody's buying that. Nobody's buying
Proctor
that.
had access to that room and was taking control over those those clothing items for those 6 days that they were drying on the butcher paper, correct?
That's not necessarily correct. It could have been the evidence officers bagging the evidence once it's dried and processing it. I highly doubt Trooper Proctor had access to the beast machine to print that label.
Right. I'm not asking if he printed the label. I'm asking if he bagged the item and walked it up to the evidence locker and the label was printed up there.
Again, I don't know who bagged the items.
That would be normal protocol, though, correct?
Somebody else bagging the items?
No, the case officer bagging the items.
This is what it's called a cluster, when several things are happening at once in your face. One shoulder shrug, nose flare, lip compress, rolling his eyes, the little lemon, look at what he does with his lips all the time. It's just, he's angry about
He's the
being
one that
questioned at all.
seized it along with you. He laid him out on the butcher paper along with you.
Look at all the things that
He'd be
happened
the one
to
to
his
gather him
face.
up. I mean, the evidence officer's not going to come down there and do that without the case officer knowing, correct?
Not necessarily. The evidence officer's responsibility is to handle the evidence. So I don't know who handled the evidence that day.
How would the evidence officer know to go down there? How would he know that there were clothing items
don't
being
know.
laid out
I don't
to
know.
dry on butcher paper unless the case officer told him?
They would walk by it every day and see it. That's their workstation. So
That's ridiculous. So you don't tell the people, the evidence officers, you don't tell them, listen, there's evidence for you guys to process. They just walk by, and if you see something that is drying, maybe you want to process it.
The fact is, we don't have a single document establishing the chain of custody for those items between January 29th and February 4th. That's correct, isn't it?
That is absolutely not correct.
Where's the log of the document logging what happened to it?
We seized the clothing. It was in our possession. It was transferred for processing.
Sergeant, I'm asking you about a log, a written piece of paper, something that looks like this. It's got writing on it.
It's very
It
frustrating.
logs
Thank God Alan Jackson's
the
a
item
pro.
between January 29th
Darn
and
it.
February 4th. That doesn't exist.
Don't
does it?
forget to acknowledge this
We
video,
did
guys.
not create a log to document the
acknowledge button.
documentation,
Thank
so
you.
So
be redundant, really.
You indicated on direct examination that you personally participated in 2 searches. No report was written about any of these searches until November 4th.
yeah, exactly. What are you going to
2023.
do about it? That's how he seems
Correct?
the whole time.
That could be possible, yes.
So literally the documentation of these 3 searches about which you've testified today, the documentation
That's
did
probably
not
funny.
exist until, what is that math? 17,
He
18
looks like
months
a
later?
sociopath. Like no.
That is not true. Each bag
Emotion.
that the evidence went into
Look,
was
that's what it says,
documented, the time,
34
location, who
Fairview.
recovered it, where it was recovered, and brief description of the items that were recovered from the scene.
And by the way, we're going to get to that in a second, the evidence bags.
He probably makes
A
a lot of
report
money.
is designed
And
to
this is his
memorialize
level of
exactly
professionalism.
what happens, when it happens, why it happened, who was there, what time it happened, things of that nature, correct?
That is one of the purposes, or some of the purposes behind the report, absolutely, yes.
And the report in this case that documented
Contempt.
these 3 searches involving you, Trooper Proctor, I think Trooper DeChico, even Canton PD officers.
Goes back to his little
There was no
comfort
memorialization
position.
in a report until nearly 18 months later.
That's insane. So that's another thing, about deception, lying. One very, very easy thing that we look at is comfort versus uncomfort. Is the person looking like they are comfortable, that everything is okay, or is there a lot happening? Discomfort. Look at the faces he makes when he is being confronted with these questions, and he says with his words that there are no issues. Sometimes we write the reports whenever we get to it, when we have time, and that is how it's done. But his body is like, oh no, this is all wrong. Look at his eyebrows, his forehead, everything is moving. Everything is uncomfortable about his reactions. Side lip, the lemon taste, disapproval. He's disapproving the line
Is
of
that right?
questioning.
It's possible, yeah. We write reports at different times. Yeah.
And look at how much he changes.
If you show me a report stating that,
Do you have something I can look at to refresh my memory? If you can show me, can I see it?
Do you have it?
Do you have it?
Is it in there?
Is it in there?
Is it in there?
I would like to take a look. If it's written in a report authored by me or that I approved, I will take it to be fact.
As you sit here
Seem like all of them have been coached to say the same thing.
There's certainly themes. There's certainly themes going on. Carrie Roberts came back this year actually asking for reports. She did not do that. She did not do that last time. So definitely there are themes. Maybe they all watch each other's testimony and pick up things that they're like, oh, that went well. I'll do that. I don't know. Or maybe they're talking. I mean, Jennifer McCabe was constantly calling Proctor.
Carrie.
That is known.
Yeah.
That is known. So he was on the phone with Jennifer McCabe, and this guy was like, oh, okay, that's what happened. Okay, and that was it for them. That was the case. Jennifer McCabe said, Karen said I hit him, and that was the case. Everything else just followed along that theory. There was no verifying other possibilities, investigating other avenues. We saw the whole list of things he did not pursue. So definitely a theme. Do you have the report? Can I see it?
See the report.
now, you don't have a memory of that conversation with Brian Higgins?
I don't know if his face hurts, but shock with the eyebrow raise. Let's air out like, dude, this is stressful.
The exhaling. Inhaling.
Do I have a memory of having a conversation with him
No,
and him sharing that information with me?
That's it.
I don't have a memory of him sharing that information, but if you have a report that was authored
Again.
by me or Michael Proctor or any trooper in our office that says that, I will take it as gospel and testify to it.
Okay. How many years of experience do you have?
In homicide,
Correct.
10 next week.
Okay. That sound like many?
I didn't answer the first time because I don't know what you would think many is.
Right.
It's
I mean, how do normal people view that type of answer? How do normal people view? I'm sorry, I can't agree with you that 10 is many. I mean, it just looks like a sociopath. Like, and he's smiling. He thinks that's funny. We're all like, we're not in the joke. We're not with you in this joke.
Yeah, it's weird.
possible you can do that. If there's a reason that you have to leave, an emergency or weather conditions, you can't write on the bag, you can fill it out later if you have the time and you know where you recovered it from. Which
A
is
year later.
You know, in this
Yeah, who
instance,
cares?
if it was a general vicinity
I'm a
where all the
supervisor. I don't
other
give a shit.
fragments of evidence was collected from, it's known that it was within the general area of that section of the lawn near the flagpole between the street and the flagpole and the fire hydrant. So it's,
Look how pissed he is from being interrupted.
Wasn't with you.
well, I passed that information along to them.
I see. So
To whom?
now it's hearsay information that's being passed along to someone else to fill out the paperwork. Objection.
Sustained.
It's secondhand, let's use that word, it's secondhand information to the person that's filling out the evidence envelope, correct?
No, it's firsthand information. I passed it along to them.
It went from you to a person filling out the envelope who wasn't there. Let's at least agree on that.
I was by myself, so yes, I told the individual what time, what location,
Who?
the case number, the date, obviously.
How do you know? How do you know that you told the individual to whom you passed this along the time, the location, the date? How do you know that as you sit here?
Because that information was then put on the bag and documented.
But you can't even remember who you talked to.
I do not remember specifically who I talked to, no.
If you can't remember who you talked to, you don't remember what you said. Goes hand in hand, doesn't it?
That's not true. I might not remember now, but the day that it was bagged on February 10th, 2022, I remembered. And that's why the accurate, detailed information is on the bag.
A bag
And he
you
gets
didn't
angry
fill out,
about the question.
correct?
He's like, I don't know
That's
who I gave
correct.
it to.
And information
I don't
provided
care.
to someone you can't remember.
Today, I can't remember, no.
And he doesn't care. There's no accountability.
I don't know
Don't
that to be
remember.
correct, no.
Oh my
You
God.
can't point to any documentation. You're looking at the logs. You can't point to any documentation indicating the chain of custody of these items between February 10th and March 14th. Is that right?
This is simply a log from the lab.
Yes or no? Can you point to any
He's so mad.
documentation?
Ask the question.
Can you point to any documentation indicating where those items went, whose possession they were in what circumstance between February 10th and March 14th? Can you point to any document?
I know that it was collected on February 10th.
Right.
It's documented that it was collected. It was at the Norfolk District Attorney's Office before it was logged into the lab for processing.
You keep answering the same question that I'm not asking, sir.
Objection.
Sustained. No comments, Mr. Jackson.
Sir, do you understand my question? I'm asking, can you point to a single document for these jurors as to where those items went and in whose possession they remained, specifically between February 10th, when you lost sight of them, and March 14th, when the crime lab received them?
Objection.
Sustained.
May I approach?
Based on the statement I hit him, I assumed that Mr. O'Keefe was impacted with something. Initial hours of the investigation we had those statements, I hit him. We had the statements that, oh my God, did I hit him? So utilizing that information with the evidence at that point that we had was a broken cocktail glass. So a theory would be, why is the cocktail glass broken? Because it came into contact with the victim. So that's why my information communicated to the ME's office was a possible domestic involving a glass strike to the victim. As a result, we had to go and see the victim's body and the injuries. So Mr. O'Keefe's injuries presented a certain way, and we learned more information. So the more information that comes in, the more information that we are able to corroborate statements and
he talks to people like they're a bunch of idiots. You know, he's just repeating these words that he's used to repeating. Well, this is how investigation works. The more information we gather, the more information corroborates with the witnesses' statements, and then we corroborate. That is how investigations work, Alan Jackson. And we're like, dude, that's not what we're asking. We're asking, why didn't you investigate anything else? If you thought it was a glass, there was a party inside, why didn't you go inside the house and ask about the party? We're not asking you how investigations work. Like, he talks to people like we're all idiots in his wonderful world where he's the main, know-it-all, and nobody should ask him any questions.
Collecting evidence that further corroborates other information is helpful in the investigation. That's how investigations develop. If we knew everything we knew from day one, there wouldn't be a process of developing investigation.
So proud of himself.
The report documenting where they were recovered from is number 83 that you just presented. Exact location is the same general vicinity. If it was something different, if we located these items across the street, different section of the yard, that would have been documented.
It says 34 Fairview. So you have to go
exact location, general vicinity. Yeah.
Talking about banging and hooking up.
Talking about banging.
What word would you use to describe them if not flirtatious?
The totality of the conversation?
Sure.
My opinion is that it's a angry girlfriend trying to set up.
Somebody said Papa Smurf. That's funny. That is great. That's it? Oh, I thought this video was way longer than that. Okay, so that's it on this video. More of his entitlement.
Oh, it's funny. That was funny.
No consequences for him. Yeah. I don't know. Do you like the part where when the judge talks, I put a cloud and a thunder?
Yes. I loved your little cartoons you put in there. It was funny.
Oh my God.
That was excellent. That was so good.
Thank you. Thank you. I definitely have fun doing this. Definitely. It's just like, because I have to make fun of it because it's so ridiculous. I don't think anybody likes arrogance and sense of entitlement. I think the jury, having different types of people, different age groups and everything, they're trying to do the best they can to analyze the evidence. But I just think that nobody likes arrogance and a sense of entitlement, a sense of lack of accountability. Like, there is no need for me to be accountable. You are asking ridiculous questions. If there was any need for me to document anything else, I would have done it. I gave it to somebody. I don't remember who it was, but I'm sure I gave it to somebody responsible and trustworthy and full of honor and integrity. It's just, people don't react well to this type of personality. And I think that without looking at any of the body language things that we saw today when we were breaking down the facial expressions, you get that gut feeling. And you're like, this guy's a douchebag. Let's say the jury just said, this guy's a douchebag. Let's not take his testimony as gospel. Let's just put it that way, and let's just wait to see what else comes in. I think that is the minimum of the impression that the jury would get from somebody like this with so much potential, because his background is impressive and he could have testified in a much different way that would be more respectable, but he can't, because that's what I'm saying. You can't change your character. You can't change who you are. I saw your dog real quick. Where is it at?
I had to put him back in the kennel. He was getting out of control. He He loves it down here because this is kind of like a storage room, so there's all kinds of stuff he can get into. He likes to eat paper and stuff, so
Oh yeah.
I,
Oh yeah.
I had him up here. I don't know if you saw, but he started growling. He's got that
I
little
didn't hear that. For one
yeah.
second, I saw him. Whisper can stay here like for he sleeps. He's just like, give me a blanket. I'll
Oh, see,
sleep.
I wish. Yeah, Charlie can get like that at times. Like if
Aw.
he's, but
Whisper.
it's he only has his moments. Mostly, it's like he's pretty independent dog.
Aw.
He
How old is
right
he?
now he's older now. He acts like a puppy, but he's like 10 or 11,
Hmm.
maybe even older. He's a rescue dog. I'm gonna
Yeah.
let him out and see if he comes up. You want to come
Let's
up?
see.
Come on.
Can
Come out
you
here.
see?
Let me see if I can get him
Let's
up.
see if we can say hi to Charlie. Whisper.
See hi.
Oh,
Say hi. Your
look
buddies
at
on the screen.
that.
Oh,
How
look, two
cute is
buddies.
that?
Oh,
I
the two
love, I
buddies.
love,
See,
I love.
he
He
wants
does act
down.
like a
Look,
puppy.
he wants down.
He's
He's
so
done.
cute. Hi,
Oh,
Charlie. Hi.
hear him
Hi.
growl?
Hi,
A
baby.
little purr. It's almost like a cat purr.
No. Hi. He's so cute. Hi.
Hear it?
Oh, no.
No, you don't hear it. All right,
Oh,
let
I heard
him know.
something now. I heard something
Yeah.
now.
He's a. Look. He's looking. All he's doing is looking for like tissue or paper, anything he can get his hands on.
Whisper
Or
loves
treats.
eating
There
paper.
you
When
go.
he's when he's too quiet in the house, because the Whisper is free. He's free range the whole time. He can go anywhere. And
Aw.
whenever it's very quiet, I'm like, okay, something's happening there. He's usually ripping paper or found
Yep,
some
that's
plastic
Charlie.
bag. They
Yep.
love that. They love that.
They do. It's funny because Charlie, usually we do put him in this little, we have a kennel, but we have like a fence around it. He's got like a yard. He's got like a penthouse. He's got a nice little, it's almost like his
Aw.
bedroom. But he
Yeah.
likes to go in there. Like he'll run up there to go up there. But lately I've been letting him out. He's fine around the rest of the house. It's just this room. This room is the room that he knows he can find stuff and he gets into trouble. Because
Yeah,
I don't let
my
him in here when he's alone. He never comes down here when he's alone. So,
yeah, my
not
office too. I have to be careful because once in a while, Whisper pees in the pee pee pad and he goes to
Oh.
the bathroom like he's trained. But sometimes, like I'll come in my office and he pooped here. Like I don't know if it's like it's a different.
spot.
He doesn't do it anywhere else, you know. So,
Yep.
but the office sometimes I have to close the door as well. I don't know what it is about them.
Dogs will find their little spots that they like. It's funny.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's awesome. We're both dog lovers. It's awesome to
Ah,
see and
big
I
time.
love it. You
Big
spent so
time.
much time with me tonight. I want to thank you. You've been here it's 2.5 hours. We've been
Look
here
at
2.5
that.
hours. Went by
Wow.
quickly.
Awesome. Yeah, I had a lot of fun.
I hope everyone checks out all your videos. If you haven't, make sure you subscribe to Bianca. Make sure you follow her and go check out her videos too. Like them. Go subscribe to them and like them and give them the thumbs up and all that stuff.
Thumbs up, I acknowledge.
Yes. Yes.
Remember when Triple Buchanan said, thumbs up means I acknowledge. It's not I like.
There we go. We're acknowledging.
Acknowledge that you like the videos, please.
Yes, please. She put a lot of work into those. You could see that. Especially if you enjoyed tonight. I want to thank you so much for being here, Bianca.
Thank you, Mike. Thank you so much
Bianca.
for all your hard work. Every day you're like working really hard on this case, and we all appreciate all the work you and the time that you put into this. Absolutely. And thank you, everybody, for the comments too.
Yeah, and you too. Thank you for doing all the videos and being here tonight and everything you're doing. It's amazing, and I'm glad I found you. And I love your channel. And thank you so much for being here, Bianca. BiancaMMM. Was it mind meditation and what was the other one?
Motivation.
I like that motivation. That's everything. You got to be motivated. That's
Yes.
everything in life. If you have the motivation, you're halfway there.
Absolutely.
Awesome. I thank you so much. I love how positive you are too on your channel, even though you're dealing with difficult things and you have fun and it's funny. And I really enjoy having you on the show, and I enjoy watching your channel too. It's an honor to have you on tonight. Thank you so much for being here, Bianca.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you to all the jerks for participating and commenting and liking and subscribing and sharing. And Thank you, Mike, for having me back. I really appreciate the opportunity. And, we'll keep in touch. Thank you so much, everybody. And
Thank you. Have a great.
Corina is my favorite. Corina is always
Yes.
helping me and encouraging me behind the scenes. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Karina. Have a great night,
Have a
Bianca.
great night. Bye-bye.
Bye now. With the Young Jurks, make sure you follow, subscribe to the Young Jurks and Bianca MMM. Bianca. She was awesome. Yeah, I think that was a good takeaway tonight. I think she should do some reviews of Kevin. That would be so much comedy. Can you imagine that? And it would drive him crazy because Kevin gets uncomfortable with women. You can tell, and especially I think someone like Bianca, who's smart and she's an attractive lady, and I think that would definitely intimidate Kevin. So I would love to see it. I would just love. There's so much joy to watch that. I hope she does consider doing those. I want to thank everybody who's been watching tonight. I want to thank the super chatters tonight. Thank you so much. I also want to thank a couple people from earlier today who sent Venmos from our streams. Let me check those out real quickly. We had a donation today from Brandy I. She sent $25 and she said, "Thank you, Mike, for covering the Karen Reed trial." Thank you so much, Brandy. Hold on one second here. And also Joan BD, I'll say. I never want to say the last names because some of the trolls attack people. She said thank you. Thank you so much. She said $5 earlier today as well in the Venmo. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much, Joan. And Emily also sent $25, I think for yesterday. She said, "Thank you for all the Karen Reed trial coverage. Love your channel, Emily B." Thank you so much, Emily B, on Venmo yesterday. And I think that might be it. I just want to check one thing on the... Yeah, that is it. We got everything. I'm not sure when my next show is. I might do a show tomorrow night. I don't know. We'll see what happens. Yes, Charlie is a Pekingese. That is correct. They are very temperamental, aren't they? Those Pekingese. You got to be careful. What's he? See, he's behind me now. He's getting in trouble. What are you getting into? Get out of there. Look at him. I got to get him on. Charlie! I probably have to go. My dog's acting up. He's going to destroy my studio. Next thing you know, my lights are going to be coming down. We have so much fun here. So, yes. I'm not sure when my next show. Maybe tomorrow night. I'm not sure. We'll see what happens. I got a lot of things in play right now. I'm dealing with a lot, unfortunately. Some good, some bad. But we'll definitely be streaming in the morning from court. So definitely be here tomorrow, I think 9 a.m. We'll see you there. Again, I want to thank Bianca. Make sure you follow, subscribe to her. Go like all our videos, too. Go check out all our videos, especially the ones you saw tonight on the show. Go like them. Make sure you're giving her a lot of support and love. Share it around on social media. All right, we'll see you tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. court. We'll see you there. Have a great night, everyone. Thank you so much for watching, sharing. We'll see you soon.